Hi, hello, and welcome everybody. Happy Monday. Happy start to the week. Stone and JD, what is going on, my friends? How you guys doing today? I am doing very well. Had a good start to the week, and hopefully we'll be continuing that good start to the week here in today's stream. But good to see you guys. Happy day of the moon, indeed. Indeed, it is the start of a new month. And a very special start to the month because, well, let's just say it is a certain someone, a certain somebody's, a certain individual's birthday week. So, should be a good week for that certain person, and hopefully that certain person will be able to enjoy themselves. What's going on, Sage? How's it going, my friend? Happy Monday. Hope all of you guys are doing well. We've got a very chill stream, very fun stream here today. It is finally time to do our very first character tier list for ZZZ. And yes, tier list, not quite character rankings or the character sorter. We will be doing a tier list. That is what we will be doing for ZZZ instead of the character sorter, because I feel like this is better. Honestly, I prefer the tier list over the character sorter, but we've been doing the character sorter for Honkai Star Rail for a while now, so that's what we're doing. But yeah, Stone, JD, Sage, good to see you guys. How's it going? Anything new with you guys? Anything yappable? Anything that I can yap about that you guys have to share? Feel free to go ahead. But yeah. So yes, it is my birthday very soon. This Thursday is specifically will be my birthday. So I will be enjoying the vast majority of the week because I will be taking a long weekend and from work. So I'm taking Friday off, not quite taking my birthday off, but we'll be taking Friday off. Should be a good time. Stone, I better see Remy high up, or let's just say I will do things. Remy will be very high up, but don't worry about a thing, Stone. Remielle is going to do very well in these character rankings. She is going to do quite well. So, but yeah, it's going to be fun because the reason I like tier lists a lot, because with the character sorter and Star Rail, and I can kind of talk about this a little bit, you really only get to see the individual ranking, right? You don't really get to see the groups. That's what I like about tier lists, because if you do your tier list the way I do them, which is left to right is a ranking, not only do you get to see, all right, this character is, this person's favorite, like they're number 1, number 2, number 3, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? But you also get to see how the characters are grouped, right? So characters in a certain tier are closer to each other and are valued more similarly, can't speak, more similarly than characters in another tier. So that's why I prefer tier lists, but the Star Rail character sorter is super fun, and it's a whole different experience. Yeah, JD, for Genshin fans, Snezhnaya is right on our toes. It is a very exciting time to be a Genshin fan because you guys have finally arrived at the Tsaritsa at Anastasia. I don't quite remember her full name, but she looks so cool and very, very good. So I might re-download Genshin when the Tsaritsa comes out and just, see how it goes, because I feel like that would be a fun time, but we'll see. It is indeed the end of the Seven Nations, Sage. I can't believe Genshin has actually managed to arrive to this point. When Genshin first started, I was like, imagine once we get to the end. Imagine once the map has been fully revealed. Imagine once the story has progressed to the point where, all the Seven Nations have gone through their story arcs and, fast forward several years. We are finally here, and Genshin is what 6 years old, 7 years old. It's at the end of the Seven Nations arc, and who knows what will happen after this. So leaks say that Snezhnaya is going to be a year-long story arc, so pretty much no breaks. Hopefully, I feel like it deserves it. They should definitely do Snezhnaya as an Euphorious level story for sure. I mean, it's the finale of the Seven Nations, right? And it's the Tsaritsa. You got to go all out. JD, Anastasia Fedorovna, no, Fyodoro, Feodorovna Sneznaya. Let me say that again this time now that I got it. Anastasia Fedorovna Sneznaya. That's the Tsaritsa's full name. There we go. I got it. I just had to slow it down. I can't speak English today, apparently. But it's a Monday. Can you really blame me? Can you really blame me? It's a Monday. So I had a good Monday. Work was busy, especially during the morning and kind of like the beginning parts of the afternoon. But it wasn't anything like overly stressful. And it was like somewhat like decently like the good busy, like the one that'll like make time go by just a bit quicker. But the one thing that I was like really I'm not really upset. I was like, that sucks. Is tomorrow was looking like it was going to be a pretty free day. Like I wasn't going to have too much to have to like focus on. And then at the end of the day, my manager was like, "Hey, can you hop into call?" And I was like, "Absolutely. What's going on?" And he was like, "We've got like 3-4 hours of calls that we need to set up tomorrow." So yeah, that was that wasn't fun. But I mean, the stuff that it shit needs to get done. So I don't blame him. Sage, it's finally time to meet the heavenly principles. It's finally time for everything in Genshin, right? It's you guys are arriving at a point in the story where the unknown is finally here, and the four gods, or not the four. What are they called again? I know it's the heavenly principles. I know it's Celestia, but like it's like Rhina daughter and um I'm forgetting the other one. The Shades. Thank you. The Shades. Appreciate it. Took me a bit to get there. Um, yes, it is Russian, JD. It is absolutely Russian. Well, Russian, but pronounced in English. So, but yeah, the Shades are here. What's her name? Rovanova or whatever her name is. I saw like a couple of things going around on Twitter and social media about how she's supposed to make an appearance in the story, or maybe she already made an appearance in a trailer of some kind. So all of that looks really cool. Renova, thank you, Sage. Yeah, it looks like Renova is like making an appearance somehow, some way. That's really cool. So who would have thought? Nabaria / Rhina daughter, Renova, Istaroth, and Asmodee. Yep. Renova is always the one that like passes my mind. I know Istaroth or Istaroth, however you want to pronounce it, and Asmodee are easy because those are just, demon names. And then Rhina daughter because, it's Rhina daughter. And then Renova is the one that I always miss. 7.0 trailer. Okay, that makes sense. No, yeah, I was seeing a couple of screenshots going around on Twitter, and I was like, this is probably a trailer or like, some like small epilogue story in Genshin. Yeah. That said, as cool and exciting as all this stuff for Genshin is, I don't think we will ever do Genshin on the channel. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's in the wheelhouse. I don't think it's my thing quite anymore. There was a point in time where I think I said that I wanted to react to the Genshin trailers. Like I wanted to watch all the trailers because I haven't watched. Well, I at this point I would say I haven't watched the majority of them. I feel like the last trailer I watched was, I think it was like Miko's, like Yai Miko's, back when I was still playing the game. So it's been a lot of trailers since, obviously. But I was like, if I react to the trailers and then get any amount of traction or viewership from that and then like not play the game, that's a bit clickbaity in a way. And I was like, I didn't feel comfortable with that. So, and also just more importantly, I don't necessarily really want to play Genshin. That's a tall task. That is a lot to get through. So JD, the heavenly principles is called the Fanes. You pronounce it the same way you pronounce Hades. Oh, so Fanes, I would say instead. Fanes. Gotcha. Thank you for the pronunciation, because I would not have gotten there. I would not have arrived there had you not told me, JD. But yeah, really cool, exciting stuff for Genshin. For me, I think I have found my love of Hoyoverse, which is Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. And then we'll see We'll see if Nexus Anima ends up capturing us. The more I see of Nexus Anima, the more I am leaning towards trying it. I think we will stream Nexus Anima once that becomes a thing. So that'll be fun. But I don't know if we're gonna go all in quite yet. But I do think we're gonna do Nexus Anima. Excited for Pearl. I'm excited for Robin Sumerato because I did say I was not summoning for Pearl. I am summoning for Pearl, to be very clear. Very excited for Pearl as well. But I did say I wasn't going to summon in 4.5 for Star Rail. And then they were like, but what if we made Pearl Giga Broken and like Himiko Nova's like best in slot character for Verdict specifically, I think. And I was like, I can run Sunday and Robin together with Dan Heng and Himiko, and that's just some of my favorite characters in the game. So I do think we're going to go for Robin. I don't think we're going to go for Eidolons, but I do think we're going to go for Robin. So should be cool. But yeah, Pearl will be coming right after that. She's going to be awesome. She's going to be, the final piece, hopefully, of the Elation teams that we have gotten so far in Planet Arcadia and the Elation storyline. So, you've got your Silverwolf team, you've got your Evanescia team. We're eventually going to have our Nihilux team. So it is going to be a very imperative to get Pearl. So, yep, lots of summoning to do. Not a lot of Jades, but that's okay because I have a credit card. The next Hoyo game I'm excited about is Varsa Pura, but it's another big open world game with cars. I've seen the name. I didn't know anything about that. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of open world and also not the biggest fan of like racing or car games. When I was a kid, actually, fun fact, my first video game I ever played was a car racing game. It was Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. I forget which one, but that was the first game I ever played. And then, oh wait, no, that's a lie. The first game that I ever played was Donkey Kong, not the like original Donkey Kong. It was Donkey Kong Country. And then after I played Donkey Kong Country, I played Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. We did have both consoles out as a kid. The whole reason I got into video games is because my dad is a gamer. Well, he was a gamer. He's not so much of a gamer anymore these days, but he has his moments where he'll get addicted to a game. Like he very recently, my dad got very addicted to Assassin's Creed, so he really likes the franchise now. Yeah, Nihilux is supposed to be a DPS, JD. That's really interesting. That's not what I would have expected whatsoever, which is a bit of a relief for me because I have the Elation supports. I have Sparksy. I have Yao Guang. So, and I'm going to get Pearl, right? Assuming she's the Elation sustain. So for me, getting Nihilux and potentially replacing one of Sparksy or Yao Guang wasn't that appealing to me. But if you give me a DPS that I can slot in place of Silverwolf 999 instead, that to me is a bit more appealing. So I'm actually kind of happy with the leaks suggesting that Nihilux is going to be a DPS. That actually works pretty well for me. Sage, Avengering SP is in leaks is leading way more into follow-up attack than Elation comps. Yeah, I did see that. So basically, guys, if you haven't noticed, I am up to date with yesterday's leaks. So the leaks that came out yesterday for Star Rail, I did end up reading some of them, which, like I said, very excited for Robin. Even though Aventurine is one of my favorite characters in the entire game, he's like top 10 for sure. I unfortunately am going to have to skip him because he makes... I am sorry, a yawn came out of nowhere. Aventurine doesn't make any sense for my account. He makes zero. I don't have Ash Veil, nor do I have Mornax Blade. So I do have some follow-up units, but I just don't think it's worth it for me to go for him, especially after how much money I spent recently. I need to very much so I need to tone it down, and so that's going to be rough. I'm really hoping that we get lucky on Robin, because if we don't get lucky on Robin, that's going to be another big hit to my wallet that I do not want to take. So, and then Pearl's around the corner. Oof. It's a rough day. It's a rough day. So thankfully, it looks like I'm going to be able to save on ZZZ. It doesn't look like I'm going to have to spend on ZZZ anytime soon. Thankfully. Unfortunately, Remielle summons didn't go that amazing. They didn't go that bad. Like, we lost a 50-50 and we went to double pity. That sucks, but the light cone, not the light cone, the W engine summons went well. So, yeah, Nihilux and the collab right after. Part of me kind of hopes that the collab with ZZZ is something that I can go easy on, like characters that I just summon E0, S1, and like I don't have to worry about, anything that much. But if they do like Astra, which is rumored, and then they bring along Evelyn, ooh, boy, I will die. That is rough, man. That is, if Evelyn is somehow in Star Royal, that's the end for me. What I'm hoping for is Astra Evelyn. I'm hoping that's what it is. I know it's not going to be that, but I feel like if they want to bring over a duo, right? And Astra is rumored, why not just bring Evelyn, why not just have her come with? So but it's not going to happen, thankfully, because if Evelyn did come over to Star Rail, that's a potential, Eidolon's character. That is like an E2 at least, maybe more. So yeah, it's a rough one. And then obviously the collab in ZZZ as well. The collab will be your Goliath. Get it? I'm trying to get the joke. I don't quite get it, JD. I'm so sorry. But I trust your humor sense because it's oh. Because my name. Yeah, sure. I was like trying to make the connection. For those of you guys who don't know, if you're watching the VOD or watching live on YouTube or Twitch, my real name is David. Feel free to refer to me as such. You don't have to. I tend to find that the name I prefer to be referred to as online is just Ghulio or Ghoul. I used to prefer Leo because back when I didn't have that many chatters, that's what most of them called me. But nowadays, most people call me Ghoul. So Ghoul or Ghulio, those are the ones that I'm leaning towards, but feel free to refer to me however you'd like. You can call me Ghoul, you can call me Ghulio, you can call me Leo, you can call me David, you can call me whatever you want. So, but yeah, it took me a bit to get it. Like I said, it's a Monday. I'm slow. My brain isn't quite working all the way. So, but yeah, just a heads up. Sage, you probably, and both JD, both you and Sage have been around for a very hot minute. You guys are probably aware of my real name. Coolio. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. Coolio is good. Coolio is good. So, yeah, so some housekeeping items really quick. So, when is the next stream? It's going to be a bit because this is going to be, I think, the last stream that we do on like ZZZ 3.1. So, this is closing the chapter on ZZZ 3.1. And we don't have anything like sudden that I think is going to come for Star Rail, which means that I have some time to do whatever I want. And what I want to do is not stream. So no stream for this week. So for the rest of this week, there's going to be no stream. I'm going to, relax a bit, take a break, watch some anime. Yeah. Other than Drip, which is probably in 2 to 3 weeks. And I don't really think the drips are going to be too crazy. The biggest character that, the drip marketing would show is Pearl, and we already know what Pearl looks like. So no stream for this week. On the weekend, probably Saturday, I'm going to say it almost certainly Saturday. This Saturday, we will be starting our very first non-gacha content on the stream since I started this channel over a year and a half ago. So we're going to be doing Expedition 33 on the channel. We've talked about it a bit. So if you guys want to show up for that, feel free to. But I know the majority of the people that watch me for Hoyoverse content. So if you don't want to show up for that, perfectly fine. But it's about time we do this. This is what I originally imagined the channel was going to be more like, was us playing through JRPGs and not necessarily fully focused on gacha. So That's the plan for the Stone bro wants to abandon us. JK, JD, Dad Leo is abandoning us. Dad, I am not. Listen, bro. I know it's my. I'm turning 28 this Thursday. I am not that old. Like, why? Like some of my friends are having kids, and that's a bit weird. But most of my friends aren't. So we're not that old yet. But I know you're. I'm just joking, JD. By the way, I'm just joking. I'm 80, Unc, bro. If I wish I was 80, well, not 80. I wish I was 60. That way I could be retired, and I wouldn't have to work anymore. So I could just stream full time. JD, I'm probably more dad lol with my 35. 35 still young, and but that is more like leaning towards like parents' age for sure, but like early parents, right? Like your kid at that point's probably like like anywhere from like 2 to 5 years old. So, though I did hear that, I did hear from a friend of mine that it's, becoming increasingly less risky to have kids when you're older. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't verified that as a source. But that, if science is progressing and, it's easier to, go through a pregnancy and less complications the older you are, then by all means, that's great to hear. Great to hear. So yeah, no stream for this this week. Well, not week, but like for the weekdays. So no stream on Tuesday, no stream on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. I'm gonna take those off, and then this Saturday, Expedition 33, and that'll be the main focus of the channel going forward. So we'll still do the gacha stuff when they come out. Don't worry, but Expedition 33 will be what takes whenever we're not streaming the gacha as that comes out. It'll be E33. So that'll be cool. And then I think there was something else that I wanted to talk about, but I can't quite remember. So it probably wasn't all that important. So if I remember, I'll mention it at the end of the stream. But, alas, not coming to my mind right now. So yeah, that's the only thing I really wanted to talk about. JD, experience the French vibe. The French vibe indeed. Enchanté. Je m'appelle David. Je ne parle, what is it? How do I say? I don't speak French. Je ne parle pas français. Something like that. I don't know. I took French. I took 2 classes of French when I was in high school, and I remember none of it. So, Stone, I'm assuming next gacha related stream will be HSR 4.5 live stream. Probably assuming that we don't get any like huge trailer that comes out of nowhere. And even then, I probably might not just do it. So, hey, I said it right. Let's go. I'll take it. Je ne parle pas français. No, yeah. At one point, I was interested in like continuing my French studies from high school into college. But that's because I thought that in college you needed a foreign language credit. And you don't, I think. I'm not sure if it's changed. But when I was in college, I did not need a foreign language credit. I didn't need an arts credit, but didn't necessarily have to be foreign language. So I took just art history. That was like the easiest class that I could take, so I could focus on my other studies. So and that art history class that I took actually ended up being pretty chill. My art history professor that I took that class with, she was very millennial, like very young, definitely like closer to a student's age rather than a professor age. And she was like completely not knowledgeable about anime and manga, but she was like so down to learn about it because me and a couple of other people in my class were like big anime fans, like big manga fans. And we were talking about it one day, and she kind of was like, what you guys talking about? Like, she wanted to get in on a conversation because she was chill like that. And we just kind of like introduce her to it. And like the next class that we had, she came to class and she was like, yo, I went down a rabbit hole, and like I was like researching what like anime and manga history. And like she was like, do you have any recommendations? So that was really cool. Like we then recommended like some manga to her because that was primarily what she was interested in, not necessarily the anime, but the manga. So Stone, bro, went easy mode. You don't even understand, Stone. I would find my places to be lazy as fuck in school because There were some things that interested me, but not many. The For example, one of the biggest reasons I even took French in high school was because I know Spanish, and so I was like, I'm just gonna take another. I'm just gonna take another romantic language credit and just gonna be super easy. I didn't want to take Spanish though because like even though that would have been the easiest because for whatever reason there was like a sense of pride in me. Like I was like I'm gonna learn a new language. So Red, what's going on? Welcome. You think you're first on YouTube? Indeed you are, my friend. Happy Monday. Happy start to the week. Hope you're doing well. We're just yapping, Red. We'll get to the tier list eventually, but if there's anything you want to yap about, feel free to put in chat. This is going to be a very chill stream. It's not going to be a long stream either. I think we're going to go like an hour and a half. So this is what we always do, Red. Whenever we start stream, we yap for a while. Diddy, I learned French by force, otherwise French people would bully me. French people do have this edge to them for sure. I haven't met many, but again, going back to college, there was this foreign exchange student at my college. His name was, what was his name? I think he took on an English name. I don't quite remember, but he was a cool guy, but he definitely had this like edge to him that will like, I was like, man, this is definitely like a cultural difference. But he would tell me he was cool. And once you got to know him, he was like very, very nice and considerate. So bro admitted he's lazy as fuck. I am lazy, but you know what? You know the best way to describe my work ethic? Well, unless it's something that I'm passionate about. If it's something that I'm passionate about, like streaming or like writing, I go all in on that. I work really hard. But if it's like just like, okay, get shit done, I'm at work or I'm at school or whatever, my work ethic is described by that quote from, is it Bill Gates who said it? Like, give a lazy person a job because he'll learn how to do it more efficiently so he doesn't have to work. What's that quote that he like that like exemplifies that? No. I would never pay someone to do my work because I'm somewhat cheap. I'm not the cheapest person out there, but I am somewhat cheap. I don't like to spend that much money on things that like I can like save on. So, which is why the E6 was a big deal for me. You don't gotta lie, we won't judge. No, I'm being like, I know you're fucking with me, Stone. By the way, I know you're trying to rage bait me, but have I ever paid someone to do? Did I ever pay someone to do my schoolwork? I don't think so. I think the farthest I might have gone was a friend of mine. In fact, one of my best friends to this day, he was my roommate in college, and he and I were best friends before we were roommates in college. We went to high school together, and then we became roommates in college. He had this account on this website. I forget what it was called, but it basically had a lot of like college homework and like college assignment answers. And like, so if you had an account, you could go on there, you could search up a lot of the answers to your homework. My friend actually ended up getting an account, and I ended up giving him at one point, like, I think like $3 or like $5 because I needed to get, some answers. And he was like, yeah, it's all good. And I was like, you know what, like, you want me to pay you back? And he was like, just send me a couple of bucks. So yeah, I think that's what I did. What is this, Sage? What do we got? Oh, so this is Renova. Here we go. We can use let's use the ZZZ overlay for this. God damn, bro. The Genshin models have come such a long way, haven't they? I mean, compare this to like the launch models from Genshin. Like Diluc is the one that everyone makes fun of, but it's not just Diluc. There's a lot of other models. And like compare it to like Renova's model here, this shit's night and day, man. Night and day for sure. So, and I swear Goldie is so much easier than you to rage bait. I'm not that rage baitable. I will agree on that. In fact, most of the time when it comes to Goldie, I'm the one rage baiting him. So I do like to rage bait a little bit, but it's only because Goldie has such great reactions. But yes, I'm very difficult to rage bait. I think the reason I am difficult to rage bait, Stone, and anyone else who wants to rage bait me in chat, is because most of the times, like, people will say something that's like rage, like supposed to be rage bait, but I just get interested by the potential conversation, by the potential discussion, and I like take it earnestly. Even though I know it's rage bait, I'm just like, but no, let's have this. Like, let's have this conversation. I'm down. JD, secretly a cat, so I will judge. Hey, listen, man. You guys can judge me. You guys can judge me for whatever whatever you guys want. Sage, you should see the insanity of the Snezhnaya models. I've seen a few of the models and how good they are. The one that impresses me a lot is the Yi Xuan look-alike. There's a Genshin character who looks a lot like Yi Xuan from ZZZ. Her model is very impressive. Stone, you missed Goldie getting mad at me because I clipped him putting Remielle above Cyrene. Hey, listen, man. It was a phase. We can call it that for Goldie. But he did temporarily put Remielle above Cyrene. But it's okay. It's okay. He went back to Cyrene. He is Mr. Pink Girls. So it's understandable. I'm Mr. Spear Mommy. that's like a newly developing like aesthetic that's like being assigned to me because of my two favorite characters from Himiko from Himiko. My two favorite characters from HSR and ZZZ being Spear Mommies, Himiko and Eldreda. Ooh. JD, Odette is beautiful. Odette is beautiful. Zibai, let me hold on. Yeah, this character. Hold on. I can bring her up. Yeah, this character. Okay, now that I like take a deep look at her, she looks less like Yi Xuan than I thought originally. But yeah, her character model is like super impressive. I mean, just look at this. Like this is like so much more detailed than it was during 1.x. So I will always hold that above Goldie's head. It's okay. It's fun to rage bait him though. But yeah, these rankings, as fun as they are, and as much as we care about these characters, right? At the end of the day, they're just about a video game. There's, nothing to take too seriously. JD, yeah, Jibai is a great DPS for Lunar Crystallize. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but I assume that's one of the new elemental reactions that I've been hearing about. One of my friends is still a Genshin player. He doesn't play too seriously. He's more like a casual Genshin player. And he occasionally tells me news about like Genshin gameplay and like Genshin developments and stuff. But most of the time I find them myself just because I'm still involved with the Genshin content and the Genshin community in a little bit. Not too deeply, but a little bit. I like to keep up with the Genshin news at least. So, but yeah, she's cool. Honestly, I'm liking the Snezhnaya characters. The Saritsa obviously is the best one. Odette is beautiful, like you said, JD, and Jibai looks pretty cool as well. So, but yeah. All right. We're 35 minutes in. Like I said, I don't want to go too deeply today because I have a very specific craving. I don't know if you guys have Sam's near you, like Sam's Club near you, or Costco. Costco will work as well. Costco's more famous. I have a very specific craving for a Sam's Club hot dog. And they close at 8, though. So I'm going to have to stop stream, to give me enough time to where I can go to Sam's and get some hot dogs. So can't go for too long today. I know that's like the funniest excuse. Yeah, JD from work. JD, remind me. Are you Colombia? Is it Colombia? Is it Colombia? Remind me if I'm incorrect. But yeah, I wouldn't expect there to be too many Sam. Yeah, okay. I do. See, I can remember some things about my friends. I wouldn't expect there to be Costco or Sam's Club in Colombia. It's basically JD. I assume that you have some type of grocery store or like a Walmart or something, or a local grocery store. It's Costco, Sam's Club. They're basically grocery stores, but imagine if you could buy everything in bulk. like very large amounts of groceries at once, and that you couldn't necessarily get like one small item. Like if you go to these stores, you have to get a lot of items at once. The trick is that you get them for much cheaper per unit price because you're buying them in bulk. So, for certain things it's really nice. Like if you're trying to buy like eggs or like, like bacon or like certain groceries that come in, you want large amounts, it's really nice because they're very cheap and you can get a lot at once. But if you're trying to buy something like deodorant or like shampoo, right, it's not great for that, because really for those you need them, you only buy them once in a blue moon. So, but these stores, they have like a cafeteria esque, or like not a cafeteria, like a court, like a food court, I would say. And they have these hot dogs that are very famous and they're quite delicious. So again, I'm going to stop the tangent right there. At this point I am rambling. So, but yes, very good hot dogs. Okay. We're going to get into the tier list here. Very simple. Yeah. Like IKEA. Like if you have IKEA from where you're at, you guys know if your IKEA has the meatballs, which are also very good, by the way. Oh my God, now I'm craving IKEA meatballs. I'm gonna have to get those soon. But yeah, very similarly to like the IKEA food court and the meatballs that you have there. So, oh my God, Jesus, bro, I keep getting sidetracked. You guys always do this to me. But yeah, we're gonna get it into the tier list here now. So I'm gonna pull up the overlay and we can get started. So this is the tier list that we're using for today. It's basically just your typical playable agent, to be specific, 3.1 tier list, going up to the most recent character. So even though Sigrid isn't playable, she is a part of this tier list, and that is perfectly fine with me. This is where I would want it just to stop. So that does mean we're not going to get Claret, we're not going to get Roxy, even though, they're technically in beta. That's fine with me. We're going to do this again when Roskillifer ends. We'll do the tier list. We'll update it. Characters will move up. Characters will move down. Characters will stay in place. New characters will be introduced. And so Claret and Roxy will get their moment to shine there. So just a heads up. But yeah, so this is the tier list that we're using. But before we get started, we must name our tiers appropriately. So for those of you guys who watched my ZZZ trailer reactions, you know that when we did our trailer reactions, we named these tiers with very particular titles. The first of which is Void Hunter Peak. The second of which is no. I was gonna say Random Play Cinema. The third of which, Evelyn Nitro Fuel. Then this one was Starlight Lit. And then the last one was just like, meh. It was just like, all right, cool. But this is a very important tier list, because for the first time, we're going to create a very top tier, the very summit, the peak of the mountain, the heavens, as high as you can go, right? And I felt there was a need for a new tier for this. This is going to be the Zenless limit. Oh, Gulio. Pun intended, pun not intended. I see what you did there. Yeah, okay. We don't need to harp on it for too long. So, okay, so before we get to this tier list, just a heads up, fair warning. This is going to be different from our Honkai Star Rail character sorter. Because I've already done this. I did this yesterday in preparation for today's stream. My approach to this is going to be, we're going to go from the bottom all the way to the top. I feel like that's more fun than just me going randomly, being like, okay, where does this character go, right? With the Star Rail character sorter, we can do that because the character sorter kind of is more like one at a time, right? You get to pit one character against the other. Whereas this one's a bit different. I've got this whole roster of characters, right? Guiding the conversation is a bit more difficult because of that. So I've done this tier list already. I have it on my screen, on my other monitor, you guys don't get to see it. So I'm basically going to go from bottom to top, and we're going to go through, kind of make a little comment for each agent that we put on the tier list as we go through them. I'll talk about what I like or what I don't like or what I want to see, we haven't seen yet, potential, design, their role in the story, the whole shebang, whatever I want to talk about. And then we'll go on to the next. Sound good? That's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so starting off with my least favorite character in the game, and I always knew this was my least favorite character in the game. I don't necessarily hate him or dislike him, unlike Arlon and Motza and Stariel. Arlon and Motza and Stariel, I genuinely wish they weren't in the game. But this character is my least favorite character in ZZZ, and it is Pan Yinhu. Oh, Pan Yinhu. I'm sorry, Pan. I'm sorry, senior disciple. There's just something about Yinhu that didn't quite do it for me. I'm not the biggest fan of like the big Thyrans like Ben and Pan Yinhu, but at least Ben, he's like very clearly like very kind and caring, and you meet him first, right? I think with Pan Yinhu, my opinion on him is that he just doesn't really provide anything to the game. Like I said, I don't necessarily dislike him, but he's not really doing anything for me either. Whereas most of the characters above this tier, and even some of the characters in Meh, I feel like, okay, you have a place in the game. Like, you've provided something to the game. Not like a lot, but you've provided something to the game. Whereas with this character, I feel like you could have removed Mr. Panda from Season 2 entirely, and nothing would change. So, he's nice. He's kind. He's a good role model, but he's not doing anything for me. So he is unfortunately my least favorite character in the game. Moving on, which to a character that I feel like most people are gonna have higher than me, but for me, this character never really clicked. Sokaku. I think the problem with Sokaku for me is that they are a very particular character, right? Their character has a lot of personality. They've got a lot of energy. What happens if that personality and energy that is so unique doesn't work for you, right? Because they go all in on that, right? This character is all in on that, hyperactive energy that they have. What if you are frustrated or annoyed at times by that energy? And that is Mio Sokaku. I recognize that her writing and her relationship dynamic with Yanagi is pretty interesting. It's pretty emotionally compelling, but I'm not the biggest fan of the design. Her personality, like I said, just didn't click with me. And there are times where I do find her a bit annoying in the story. So she unfortunately is number 2 at the bottom. Stone, to me, he feels like a character that was made just to give free-to-plays a rupture support. 1000% Stone. 1000%. I feel like Penny, who legitimately, Penny, who legitimately just exists to give Rupture a support if you didn't summon Lucia. So I do have him built. He is my least favorite character in ZZZ, but I do have him built, which is really funny. So, but yeah, Penny at the bottom, Sokaku following him right after. Next, we follow up with what I'm going to call my disappointment Bellabog duo. I think Anton is right after, because very similarly to Sokaku, what makes Anton and like his whole gimmick is like this very particular energy. And Sage, will 4-star icons include their SP content? Yes. Which, so for example, we don't have many. we don't have many at all. But Billy, for example, is the same character to me. Same, just like we do in Star Rail. It's unless your SP is very clearly a different conscious, a different personality entirely, it's the same one for me. So yeah, Billy and like Silver Soldier Ambi and Ambi, same. So good question, Sage. Thank you for asking. But yeah, Anton, very similar to Sokaku for me. He's got a very particular energy, a very particular personality that I don't necessarily get frustrated with, unlike with Sokaku sometimes. Like, Anton doesn't annoy me the way Sokaku does at times. And let me make it very clear. Sokaku doesn't annoy me much at all. It's just occasionally, rarely. But that's enough for me, right? Because the rest of these characters are so good. But yeah, Anton's, the thing is, I normally love his type of characters, like, you know, the bro character, the goofball bro character. But I don't know why he just doesn't do it for me. Like, whenever I see him in the story or in New Eridu, I'm just like, yeah, hey, what's going on, man? But I don't know. I feel like this type of character usually hits for me, and because it didn't this time, I was a bit sad. So, continuing with Bellabog, like I said, the slightly disappointing Bellabog duo. I do have Ben right after. Like I said, not the biggest fan of like the big Thyran characters. I'm not the biggest fan of their design. I prefer something a bit sleeker. I do like Ben. I think if you were to divide this tier into two, Ben is like the end of the tier. Like, if like this is a different tier. Like, I think Anton, Sokaku, and Yenhu are like clearly to me less favorable than Ben is. Ben's fine. He's chill. He's a bro. He's a good dude. Again, though, very similar to Yinhu, doesn't really do anything. I feel like you could remove Ben from the game, and there's very little impact. And in general, the Bellabog story is one leans towards the weaker end of the faction stories. So, not a lot to go off on here, but he's a cool dude. Don't really have anything against him. He's just not doing a lot for me. Sage, just ignore their icons. I'm going to put both of their icons into tier list because of the design element. Look, I guess spoiler alert, I do prefer the SP's design over their original design, so just to kind of show that I prefer that. But yeah, we'll have them right next to each other. It'll be the same character. So yeah. And then right after Ben, we've got two more characters and meh, but like I said, these are characters that I'm somewhat still liking. That's just not that much. Piper unfortunately didn't quite hit for me. I feel like this character is very like hit or miss for a lot of the player base. One of my friends, he is in love with Piper. Like, Piper is like one of his top 3, top 5 characters in the game. And for me, she's, you know, one of my top 5 least favorite characters in the game. So I just feel like that's the way they made her character. So nothing against Piper, just unfortunately didn't quite do it for me. Stone, not gonna lie, that's surprising. Yeah, I feel like if most people would lean towards Piper not being too high up, but again, everyone has their tastes and preferences. Like I said, with Star Rail, no one has Natasha or Yukong as high as I do. Like, I have Natasha and Yukong and like my top 15 characters in Star Rail. Like, it's just everyone's gonna have their niches, and to me, Piper just is a very niche character that for some people does definitely hit, but like most people it doesn't. Stone, personally, you found her meh. Well, looks like we are in agreement, Stone. And then the last character that is in meh is a Pulchra. So no S rank characters in meh, which I guess is telling, right? Again, Pulchra, I feel like out of all the characters in this tier, she does have something she provides to the story, right? She was an antagonist that later joined a faction. And she's actually relatively not bad as kind of like a usable stunner if you don't have S rank stunners. But I think the thing with Pulchra that doesn't do it for me is she has this very like brash personality that I'm not the biggest fan of. There are ways to write characters that aren't friendly towards your character, like the MC, right? And a lot of people criticize like Hoyoverse games for that. Like, everyone loves us. Everyone loves the protagonist, right? And Pulchra is one of the few characters that doesn't. But for whatever reason, I don't like that with her. Like, I will respect a character that doesn't like instantly fall in love with the protagonist or the avatar, but this time around didn't quite do it for me. So what's going on? Hey, Sunberg. No, Granny, she's goated gameplay wise though. Yeah, Piper, very strong unit, especially for an A rank. Unfortunately, I do have Jane, so there's really very little reason for me to build her, especially after her potential unlock. So But yeah, I'm sorry, Sandberg. I'm sorry. Like I said, that I feel like Piper is definitely a hit or miss character, and she just missed for me. So, but yeah, Polkra gets at the top just because she does, like I said, provide this sliver of like interest to the story, and also again, none of these characters in this tier list really like actively dislike. Unlike in Star Rail, I do have Chew and Star Rail that I'm just like I would remove them from the game. They just don't do anything for me. These 6 characters. Sage, I think her joining the Sons of Caledon was a wasted opportunity. I agree. So, but yeah, they're all A ranks. They weren't all gonna get like significant attention, right? So, moving on to the next tier. These are characters I genuinely like, and if I see them in the story, I'm cool. So like the majority of the main cast is ZZZ. If I see them, I'm happy to see them. It's just that these characters I think just didn't hit too hard for me. These are characters that I like their personality, I liked their story, but didn't quite connect with me, if that makes sense, right? So, all right, to get to the start, Soldier 11. I think she's cool. I liked her agent story well enough. And obviously, Obo Squad has one of my favorite characters in the entire game, so most of my interest goes to her. But I do think there are some things about Harin, or Soldier 11, whatever you want to call her, that are compelling, right? The fact that she had her life saved by Anby, and Anby and the rest of Obo Squad kind of looking over her, right? And she had this agent story as well. And there's, some things about her that are pretty funny as well. So she's cool. I like Soldier 11, Harin, whatever you want to call her. She's more than earned her place in the story. And also, not that bad anymore after her potential unlock. She is quite strong. Well, not quite strong. She is usable. So, after Soldier 11, we finally get to our boy Seth. This does make me a bit sad because I have defended Seth in the past. I think he's a fine ZZZ character. I know a lot of people would have Seth ranked towards the bottom. And I honestly, as much as I hate to say it, I get it. I understand. I understand why people aren't that high on Seth. He's not the most likable character. And he's not necessarily doing anything like super special in the story either. But what makes me rank Seth in this tier as opposed to meh is his character dynamics. I feel like Seth just has a lot of good chemistry with a lot of characters in ZZZ. Specifically, obviously, Jane is the big one. But I also really like Seth with Phaethon. I think Seth and Phaethon have some nice character dynamic moments. And obviously, the one that we just got recently, him and his brother, Severian. So I think Seth, off just the fact that he is able to do well with other characters on screen, I think for me, it puts him in this tier at least. So, Sandberg, Soldier 11 got done so dirty in the 2.2 story. Yeah, she really didn't get anything, which is unfortunate, but the attention was, meant to go elsewhere, and thank God it did. So, Sage, Seth does have potential with Severian, and the fact that he still doesn't know that we are Porkies. Indeed. There's more to his character that can come. I just don't really expect it to be that powerful, but we'll see. All right, after Seth, we've got what I think is going to be a surprise for a lot of people. Unfortunately, proxies. Yes, I know, Sage. I thought you might have been joking, like Porkies, like that's just a thing, but the proxies. So this might be the first hot take character. That said, I feel like a lot of people aren't too high on her. I have Promia here. Promia, to me, has some aspects to her character that, if explored, could be super interesting. And she has some of the best trailers in the game. Like, her trailers are actually really strong. I think the thing with Promia is she has one of my least favorite designs in the game. I don't really like her design at all, unfortunately. And she's just, like I said, it's just mostly unexplored character, right? Untapped potential, right? So we'll see. She's supposed to show up in Roast Califer, but that said, still like her. I think she had a really, really dope moment in 2.8 where she's like the last one to face off against Scorched Horizon. That was cool. So just waiting to see more from her, for sure. After this is a character that I really desperately wanted to rank higher. but unfortunately, I don't think I can go higher than this. I think Rena is like one of those characters where I'm just like, I like you well enough, but again, she's not doing a lot like the characters in Meh. But I just like her more, and I like her design more. But she lacks impact in the story, but she's funny with her cooking, right? Her being bad at cooking is like a funny gimmick, and so we'll see. Sage, I believe we will delve more into her past. Yeah, I think Promia is gonna get the screen time later down the line that she just missed in 2.8 because 2.8 was doing stuff with Remielle and Phaethon, right? So Sandberg, she would be one of my favorite designs if she always had the cloak on. Even with the cloak on, not the biggest fan. And especially with the cloak off, not the biggest fan. So, but yeah, I know a lot of people like her a lot more with the cloak, but again, either one doesn't quite do it for me. So, okay, so after Rena, we've got Nekomata. I have defended Nekomata in the past before, just because I do think the story with her at the very beginning of the game with the Red Fang gang and her agent story are solid. I don't think they're amazing, but I think they're quite solid. But yeah, a lot of people don't like this character. A lot of people would have her down here, and I understand, right? Up until very recently, she was by far the worst 50-50 loss in the game. And like I said, with some of these characters, her personality can rub people the wrong way. Didn't rub me the wrong way, though, and I liked her stories well enough. So, Terminator, I think I'm the only one that likes Neko. Also, Terminator, first-time chatter. Welcome in, my friend. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, I think that very few people like Nekomata Terminator. So, hey, for you, hey, look at that. We share something in common. She was also the very first S rank agent that I ever got. Not quite the first agent that I ever got, but the way I started my ZZZ account was I saw this character. I saw Zhu Yan, and I was like, holy shit, she's hot as fuck. And I was like, I'm going to download this game instantly and do a 10 summon. And I got an S rank in my first 10 summon and ended up being Nekomata and not Zhu Yan. So got very lucky, but also somewhat unlucky. But yeah, she was until recently the worst 50-50 loss in a game, so I understand why some people may not like her, but she's fine for me. Zhu was your first 50-50 win, Terminator? Oh, I wish. I wish. Okay, after Nekomata, we've got, I think, one of the more recent characters, and I'm really hoping this character gets more screen time in the future, because the other two got a lot of screen time. It's Nangong. A lot of people have said this. A lot of people have said, why did Arya and why did Suna get so much attention and Nangong didn't? And I am the same. I do think we're going to get more of her in the future because, like I said, she is a winged Thyran. So who is the other winged Thyran that we have in the series, right? So definitely going to get some more screen time in the future. But for now, she's cool. She's entertaining. She has a great dynamic with Suna and Arya. But, you know, we're going to need more of her. And we're going to get it later down the line. So, yeah, Stone. Indeed. All right. After Nangong, another character that I feel like is just solid. Lucy. I think Lucy has some very nice moments in the story. Like her crying over Caesar's potential death was honestly the first moment in ZZZ where I really like felt emotionally moved in the story. Like Caesar like jumping into the lava and Lucy and Leiter watching over, you know, what they thought was one of their best friends, and basically family members dying, and seeing Lucy break down like that was very emotionally moving. And also her like snarkiness is really fun sometimes. But like I said, I don't necessarily think this agent's doing that much for me. They're here because I like them, and they had a couple of nice moments, but that's about it. Terminator, OMG, yes, Nangong was the prime agent to have a compelling story. I want to know more about her scar. Yeah, we're going to get more of Nangong in the future. I think that is something that is a pretty safe bet for sure. Okay, So after Lucy, we've got the dynamic 2.6 duo? No, 2.4 duo. Season 2 duo. Dial in, which honestly makes me a bit sad. Because when I first originally finished 2.4, I think it's 2.4, I was actually pretty high on this character. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I like her, and she does have a very fun personality, and she has also a really tragic backstory as well. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, I don't really see where else they're gonna go with this character, and I'm feeling lukewarm. Like, I liked her in the moment, especially, but these days I'm just like, yeah, she's cool. She kind of feels like, to me, out of all the characters on this list, the most similar to, I would say, Piper. Like, I'm just like, she's cool. I really don't think we're going to get anything else of her, and I like her well enough. So, Terminator, great character, but I think Banyue stole her spotlight from me. Stone, I'm actually the opposite. No, you guys are going to think this is super funny, because right after Dial In, I have Banyue. Where is he? There we go. So this I think you guys are going to be upset at me for. And I think the thing for me is, the more I think back to the 2.4 story, the more I realize how simplistic it is, and not in the good way sometimes. Because, like I said, the 3.1 story, the story that we just got, was amazing in many ways because they kept things simple. They didn't try to take too many risks. Whereas the 2.4 story, to me, is less that they tried to keep things simple and more like they just wrote a very simple story. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say it felt like a picture book at sometimes, but going to the beginning of the 2.4 story, I feel like I could have predicted a lot of it. But there are still some very nice moments of Banyue. He has one of the best character EPs/NVs in the entire game. Holy shit, that trailer is fucking awesome. And he's expertly voice acted by Christopher Sabat. And like I said, the dynamic that Banyue had with Dial-In, the tension, there's a very particular conversation that I remember at 2.4. It's right after the meal that they have in Yunquay Summit that is very good, very emotionally compelling. But I think it's just these characters just didn't click with me in a way. It makes me sad because I do kind of want to put them higher, both of them. But I just feel like I can't. And it does make me sad. Like I said, I wanted to put these characters higher. But when I thought about it, I was like, this is where they belong in my heart. So, Sage, her being part of Krampus is the silver lining. Yeah, Dial-In and Banyue being a part of Krampus gives them the potential to be explored further in the future. But I don't think they will. I think they're going to focus on other characters in the future. So, Sandberg, your phone is ringing. Ooh, was it? Oh, no. I just realized you're making a joke about Dial-In, aren't you? But my phone is right next to me, so I wanted to make sure I didn't miss a call in case there was an emergency. Terminator, his EP has throat singing. That's automatically a plus for me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. His EP is incredible. Sage, he has potential with Sunbringer. As an intelligent construct, he might be. Terminator, yo, phone linging. Guest, what's going on, guest? Good to see you, my friend, on YouTube. Morning. Ooh, you're talking about all the characters. Yeah, our very first ZZZ character tier list / ranking guest. I'm glad you're able to make it. Good to see you, my friend. How's it going, guest? You doing okay? Having a good start to the week? But yeah, that is the end of this tier. Going forward, every single character going forward that you see here, I actively like. These are characters that I am like, I like their story. I like their character arc. For the most part, I like their designs. Like these characters are all like characters that were memorable for me. So just a heads up. So we've moved past the kind of like characters that you could consider quote unquote average, I guess. But like I said, none of these characters I dislike. Terminator, I'm surprised Premia is in Starlight tier and not higher. Yeah, that's a character, like I said, that some people are going to have higher than I do. I just need to see more of her. And the big thing is I very much dislike her design. Not a fan of her design whatsoever, which does make me a bit sad, but yeah, it's not a design that works for me at all, really. One of my least favorite designs in the game. I'll be a bit harsher there because I do feel very passionately about that one. Now, I wouldn't even say too Gooner, though, because there are plenty of designs in ZZZ that are very Gooner that I really, really like. So, but to me, it's just doesn't make a lot of sense. Doesn't really look good. Just not a lot. That I feel like that I'm not in the minority of. I feel like a lot of people don't like Premia's design too much. Okay, to start off the next tier, which is Evelyn Nitro Fuel, we've got our second member of the Angels of Delusion, Arya, which good for her because for a while there, Arya was looking like she was going to be around here. But then I played through the 2.6 story and was not expecting her to be the star of the show. I was not expecting Arya to be the star of the show. And she was great in it. Her, story as a military intelligent construct and, the trauma that came with that and her relationship with the other members of the Angels of Delusion, Suna and not Arya, and Nangong is fantastic. Fairy being connected to Arya was something I never would have expected, right? And then Vesper, obviously, Vesper being one of my favorite NPCs in the game, and Arya's relationship was also very good. But I feel like this is where she lands for me. I liked her a lot. Stone's sorry Suna above Arya is crazy. I love Suna. You guys get off her fucking back. I've talked about how much I like Suna. So this I know some people can be annoyed by Suna, but no, Suna is daughter as fuck. Suna is going to be pretty easily my favorite Angels of Delusion member. Terminator Fairy and Arya being connected caught me off guard too. Oh yeah, absolutely. 1000%. That was such a great moment in the story for me because it was good for Arya's character development, right? But it was also really nice for Fairy's character development. That was some of the most human we've ever seen Fairy. Sunberg, what's going on? I assume that you came over to Twitch instead of YouTube. So welcome, Sunberg. Good to see you, man, my friend. Guest, yeah, pretty good. Someone FOMO'd me into jogging, and I feel like an F1 stopping in the pit stop right now. Well, I'm glad that you're getting some exercise. I need to start going to the gym again. I'm getting a little bit of face fat again, if you couldn't tell. Guess it'd be fun, they said. Never said anything about being competitive racing around the sidewalk. I don't know if you guys have ever tried like any like cross-country races. Not cross-country. If you guys have never done a 5K or a 10K or like even a half marathon, but that's pretty ambitious, would recommend that you give it a try. I did like races for a year. That was my New Year's resolution, was I wanted to run a half marathon with my dad, which I did. Incredible, amazing, magical experience. But racing, like the 5Ks and the 10Ks, those are also very fun. So if you have the stamina or like the potential desire to give racing a try, like just doing some 5Ks or 10Ks, give it a try. It is very cool and it's a fantastic exercise. So let me catch up with Twitch. Sandberg, I like the scene with Arya and Banyue. Yes, that was a good scene as well. The one in Yunque, yeah. So, and I have a little disdain for Suna because of the outfit. I understand, but I have always been of the opinion that how do I say this without getting in trouble? I've always been of the opinion that, characters that are portrayed, let me make that very clear, younger, their characters should not be judged harshly if they have a controversial design. I've always taken that opinion. Like, I understand sometimes it can be a bit frustrating when you see a character that is portrayed as young have a design that could, in some ways encourage some not good behaviors to be frustrating, but that shouldn't impact their character in any way. So, and also there's far worse examples of what I just spoke on. I'm being very cautious here because there was a moment in a previous stream where I said something that was on that subject that I actually ended up having to take back. It was something that I disagreed with. So, yeah, I tend to lean more towards like a design should not really impact, your IRL behavior or your perception on the character. So, Terminator Suna is too annoying, but that's because she's too anxious for her own good. That's what I love about her anxiousness and the way it gets portrayed in the story. Sandberg, I came over because YouTube was behind. Lol. Yeah, YouTube does have YouTube streaming can be a bit frustrating at sometimes because I have little control over it. Terminator, I feel like the devs eased up on her a bit. I like her. I always tell myself it's a gacha game. The devs will make them. It's only bad if they really go into it and people get very, very weird. Indeed. Yeah, we're not going to harp on this subject too much. What's a worse example? There's many worse examples, Stone. Just go look at anime. Anime has a lot of them. And manga as well. Gacha has to be a bit safer just because it's like they're like actual like, laws and rules that regulate it. I think. I don't want I think I don't want to talk out my ass. I'm going to cut off the conversation here. This is getting very close to a conversation I do not want to have. So it ends here. Sorry guys. Okay, after Arya, we've got Orphe and Magus, who, when I first did this tier list, was very surprising that they ended up here. I was expecting Orphe and Magus to be a bit higher just because of how incredible. I know, Stone. you are saddened by this. I am fully aware. I am fully aware that I think we might have had a bit of a lag in stream, by the way. I'm back. But yes, Stone is a huge fan of Orphe and Magus, and I like them as well. But I think I realized what makes 2.2 so amazing and the whole story in 2.2, right? It is Isolde. It is Isolde, and honestly, more so Magus than Orphe, which I do know this is Orphe and Magus, by the way. But I do think Isolde is the main catalyst for what makes 2.2 so amazing. But still, that doesn't take away from Orphe and Magus' story, which is emotional, it's strong, it makes sense. I really like the concept of Magus not going into Orphe's body because she noticed that Orphe was developing a consciousness and instead decided to work together with her clone. That's really cool. So, guessed I was huffing and puffing, always being second place, but I ain't gonna lie, it was fun. I think it unlocked something in me because I had a Jimmy Neutron moment when I was at my limits. Yeah, running can be insufferable sometimes, but there are times when you're running and it just clicks and it just feels so good. But it is rare. I started to realize I didn't optimize breathing or fully using all my leg muscle and my min-max brain just went. No, yeah, running form definitely impacts a lot. So let me catch up with Twitch now. Terminator, their dynamic is so funny. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Heisenberg, Orpheus Brick. She's not great, but I mean, hey, we don't care about the gameplay, right? Yeah, the VA is very talented, for sure. For sure. Who do you like, Magus or Orphe more? That's a good question, Shage. I think I like them equally. I know that might be a cop-out answer, but I like them for different reasons. And like I said, they're considered for the most part the same character in a way. Even though they are different consciousness, I would disagree. I do think they are different characters. But yeah, I would say I like them equally. Terminator, I compared it to Kingdom Hearts. Orphe and Magus is basically a nobody and the Heartless. I'm very rusty on my Kingdom Hearts lore, but from what I remember, sure, does make sense. Because isn't it like when someone, isn't it like in Kingdom Hearts, a heartless is the heart that was left behind by a human being, and the nobody is the body that has no heart? Am I remembering that correctly? If I remember that correctly, I'm elite. Oh my god, look at that, bro. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts in years. All right, moving on. Because we do need to start accelerating this, guys. I don't have much time, and I do want to get to my Sam's Club hot dogs. So we're going to start going through this a bit quicker. We got the Sons of Caledon duo, Caesar, and you know what? Might as well put her right next to her, Bernice. I think to me, Caesar and Bernice are just very fun characters in completely different ways. Caesar is like this character that's like admirable and like just so likable. And she also, her EP is also just really nice. And then Bernice is like just complete chaos, complete fun. And her EP, or her, I guess her trailer, not her EP, is also, again, very good, just in completely different ways, dude. Oh, man. Stone, I know this tier list isn't really doing, isn't really kind to your favorites. But like I said, all of these characters now at this point, I love. Well, I really like. So, yeah, the two that do rage bait Lucy all the time, indeed. So, yeah, really like them. Sons of Caledon are, I think, as a collective faction, really strong. Just really strong. And they also contain one of my favorite characters in the game. So, okay. So, after this, we've got another faction duo, which a lot of people are going to be surprised by me having them this high. But I think let me defend myself a bit. Grace and Kaleda in this order as well. I think I agree with most people. Belobog is probably the worst faction in the game, that's harsh. Belobog is my least favorite action in the game. Yeah, we'll get to it here in a bit, Stone. I do think Belobog is the least compelling faction in the game. But there are moments of Belobog's story that I feel like a lot of people forget. And I think a big part of it is the found family dynamic between Kaleda and Grace. I think these two have such a great character dynamic, and not a lot of people kind of focus on it. Like the stuff with Whores and Kaleda and Grace's, collective shared trauma, and each of them responding in very different ways, I think is very, very good. And honestly, Kaleda's agent story, pretty damn underrated, I think. So that's just me defending it. I do think though, people are going to see them ahead of the Caesar and Bernice and flame me. And honestly, it's probably deserved. I do think Caesar and Bernice are much better characters than Kaleda and Grace. I just think for whatever reason, I like them more. I just don't know. And also, yes, Stone mentioned it in chat. This is the first time in this tier list where I will be down bad for a character, because Grace is hot as fuck, dude. God damn. Like this, they just made this character like as a launch character. I was blessed. Yeah, they are sisters. Grace and Kaleda are legitimately stepsisters. Grace is adopted. The old VA is, I think, better, but when I started playing the game, she was already, she had already been replaced, so it wasn't that impactful to me. On YouTube, guest, hey Ghoul, what do you think is the best supporting character besides the obvious Cecilia or Billy? I'm glad that you clarified that, because I was gonna go to them immediately. I liked, by the way, that you used supporting character and not side character. Because supporting character is a character that is supposed to allow the main character, not necessarily the main character of that specific story arc, right, to shine, right, to kind of come through, and be in the forefront. I think, and you guys might find this crazy, I think one of the best supporting characters, again, not side characters. I'm not even saying this in my choice, because I don't know if I could make a choice. Minato is fucking awesome. I think Minato is like consistently a supporting character throughout season 2. and he always does a great job at it. He is a supporting character for Yuzuha and Alice. He's a supporting character, even like to a certain extent, like before that. He is a supporting character with the Lucia Yudhari stuff, and he's just great every time. And he even gets to shine a little bit. Like I said, I'm not saying Minato is my favorite supporting character in the game. I just want to give him some props as a supporting character because I feel like his character in most cases doesn't succeed with how little screen time and resources they put into him, but he's great. So Terminator Cecilia for sure. The goofy shit she has in her head is top notch. If you had to make me choose, I think it is Cecilia. but guest did clarify that Cecilia doesn't count. So Cecilia is going to be very high. Stone, do we consider Shuyan a supporting character? Even if I did, he would not be, I think, in contention for the best. But I would say no, just because he's not on this list. He is, like if we want to go beyond this list, then yeah, he's a pretty solid character, but not quite. Yeah, the Sonberg, the Minato versus Minato moment was very good. All right. Now we are going to get to what I want to call another duo, even though they're not a part of the same faction. We can do both of them at the same time. Jufufu and Norma. The yellow character design, funny, spunky, small adult characters that kind of play sidekick to Phaethon for a bit. They're just, I mean, what else can I say by just the fact that they're just fun? They're just fun, man. Right? They're not like doing anything too crazy in the story. That said, Norma has, I think, a very sneakily strong character arc across the main story in 3.0 and the event that we got. I think she has like a very sneakily strong character arc. And Jufufu's agent story is fine. It's not like incredible, but it's fine. But what makes them great is that yeah, they're just fun. They're just likable. They're spunky. They're energetic. They come into a scene and they give it life. So kind of like the same role, but somewhat different characters. Norma especially love her battle quotes. Yep, the battle. And they're also both fire stunners, indeed. No, Sadberg, I'm not going to place all the fire stunners next to each other. There's a very specific fire stunner on this list that's going to place very highly. So, Terminator and a Mega Boom Boom. Indeed. Okay, so now we're going to go on to finally a character that I can kind of like talk about their character arc. Trigger. I honestly not a fan of Trigger's design. I think if you were to go, when I initially saw Trigger, I was like, yeah, she's probably one of my lesser favorite characters. But man, her story hits. Her story hits. Her agent story it's strong, man. It is top notch. And I just think her relationship dynamic with Oboe Squad really works. She's kind of like the mother hen, the older sister of the Oboe Squad, just in a different capacity compared to Magus, right? But yeah, I mean, this is all the agent story, right? It's the agent story. It's emotional. It's powerful. It touches on themes that ZZZ does super well, right? Moving on from death, moving forward. So yeah, really, really great character. All right. And before we move on to another like character that has a really great emotional story, let's go to a character that's again similar to Norma and Jufufu in the sense that they're just likable. Corin is just so cute. She just is. She's just so adorable. And she has some of my favorite like overworld trust events. I think Corin has some great bonding events in ZZZ. I can't really explain this one beyond the fact that she's just daughter as fuck. And yeah, she's just super cute and adorable, and we must protect. So, okay, this I think is going to be one of the ones where people are really going to roast me for. And look, I'm not saying I don't recognize how great this character is, because he is great. Let me say that. I just, again, his character arc and his story did click for me. I just don't think it clicked for me as powerful as it did for other people. I do have Hugo here. I know a lot of people love Hugo. He's very high on a lot of people's list, and I will acknowledge fully, he is very well written. He is. Look, Stone, All right, you can roast me as much as you want. I've already made my spiel. He is very well written. But like I said, there are other characters that are written far worse than he is written. I will say that. But sometimes the character just doesn't click all the way for you the way it did for other characters. I just really can't explain myself beyond that. Guys, wait, we're missing one person. The other sibling you didn't choose. Like, narratively, they're a support character to a T. That's kind of true. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to go in and kind of see if we can like put in Bell here. Terminator, I think Hugo is higher if Lycon is next to him. 1000%. 1000%. I think one of the reasons why Hugo doesn't hit as hard for me as it does for everyone else is that I think one of the biggest reasons why I like Hugo as much as I do is because I just love Lycon as much as I do, which is a testament to how good their character dynamic is. If we were ranking character dynamics, Hugo Lycon is at the very top of this list. They just are. They're just that good with each other. But again, I know this is a hot take. Most people would have them towards the top of their list, but not me. Okay, now we're gonna get into the Aura Farmer himself, Pyrois. Pyrois is just such a fucking he's such an Aura Farmer dude, but he's got some comedy to him, doesn't he? Or she, depending on who you pick. I picked Wise, so it is a he for me. But Pyrois he's cool, but he's also funny, and he doesn't say much, but you can tell he's got like such this like tsundere energy towards Phaethon. And obviously, this character has hardly been explored. They're gonna get explored way, way more in the future. So yeah, Lamau Piccolo as character. True. True. Hey, what's going on, Chicken Fajita? What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, man. Also, very happy for you and the good news that you gave me recently. Congratulations, my friend. But for those of you who might be wondering, I do know Chicken Fajita IRL. But yeah, I'm glad to hear it, bro. I'm glad to hear it. But yeah, appreciate you coming through, Chicken Fajita. I'll have to catch one of your streams these days, my friend. Stone, not gonna lie, I have Pyrois and Meh right now because we just haven't seen much of them RN. Pyrois, I could understand people having him lower, but to me, he's just too fun. I'm gonna use that word a lot because it's the word that I use to describe characters that I just have ranked highly because even though their story or their character arc isn't that amazing. Pyrois is just great. He's funny, he's cool, he's got a dope design, and he's for free. So what's not to love? So watch the fit, Gohan, honestly. Stone, in terms of specifically dialogue, that's, again, like I said, I understand it fully. We're going to get more of him. We are. Chicken Fajita, appreciate it. My man just wrapped up my last call, actually, lol. Oh, man, damn. Having a call this late into the afternoon, whew, I feel for you, man. I feel for you. Today was pretty busy, but it was closer towards the morning. Much closer towards the morning. Was able to kind of take the end hours of the afternoon for the most part for me. All right, so after Pyrois, we've got Alice, a character that I did not think I was going to like. I honestly didn't think I was going to like this character at all, but she is fantastic. One of the better written characters in this game is, if we were, again, very similar to what I was saying below, if we were to divide this tier into two, if we were going to like split this tier into half, she is where the new tier begins. Like, I honestly could do this. Like, you could convince me to create another tier above her for her. So like, this is kind of like the start of like of a half tier in a way. Alice is great. Yeah. She starts off as this is like very sheltered, very reserved, shy character at the start of 2.1. And then at the very end, after everything that happens in 2.1 and meeting Yuzuha, develops so well. She grows so fantastically in the story. Very natural kind of increase in confidence. Yuzuha and Alice influence each other in such a strong way. They really do. They are, again, like I said, one of the best character dynamics in the game. If we were ranking character dynamics specifically, Alice and Yuzuha are at the very top. So not gonna lie, I have Alice above Yuzuha. Yeah, I feel like they're just really, they're definitely a duo. Heisenberg, make a new tier in between to make it symmetrical. I dare you. I'll think about it. We have more characters to go. The tier list is gonna look better. Like I said, I have the tier list on my monitor to the right, so it looks fine at the end. Trust me. Okay, after Alice. Sage, when she plays Damien, one of my favorite moments. Oh yeah, really great. Sage, I know, am I correct in remembering you in particular like Alice a lot? Because I remember at one point when I was like first starting ZZZ, one of like my OG chatters, which Sage, you very much are, they came in and they told me that Alice was like super underrated. This was like when she came out. I don't quite remember if it was you, Sage. It might have been I like her design, top 3. Gotcha. Her design is cool. So, okay. Going on from Alice, we've got Lucia. This character landed for me pretty much exactly where I expected her to land. With Lucia, I was like, I like her design. I think I'm going to like her character. I think I'm going to like her story. I think I'm going to like her character dynamics. I think she's going to do really well. And that's pretty much exactly how I feel about her. So yeah, very, very contrary to Alice, where like I expected Alice to be like down here. She ended up shooting much higher. Yeah, Lucia's goofy. Still not gonna lie, to me, Minato is still her patch. Minato is fantastic. I think what makes Lucia really great to me is she has these very subtle moments of vulnerability that if you're not paying attention to during the main story, you don't really catch. And when the Wandering Hunter moment comes, right, at the very end of 2.4, not 2.4, 2.3, it hits for you. Like, the Wandering Hunter moment was, in my opinion, very well done and emotional. But you're kind of left wondering, like, why did that hit for me? Like, we didn't get that much, like, insight or the development into Lucia's, character. It's because it's subtle. It's hard to notice. So Lucia brings Ethereals to a new perspective. Yeah, and she has some interesting, influence on the lore as well. So like Lucia a lot. She's cool. All right, next after Lucia, we have Ching Yi. Ching Yi, honestly, I think is one of my more underrated characters in the game. I love Ching Yi. I would love to put her higher. One of the best character MVs and EPs in the game. She's got a very fun personality, very entertaining, also a bit snarky, a little bit sassy, very sarcastic, very dry, very droll. And her character dynamic with Juyen is also super fun. But there's also like this very, very hidden, deep character arc that is mostly unexplored with her. And I hope we get it. I hope we get her. I hope we get what happened in her character EP/NV and we just explore it all. So, guess, dude, Lucia gave me whiplash. I thought she was just a very funny haha character. Then we went to the main story. Yeah, true. Honestly. Guess I'm surprised Ching Yi is rated that highly. To be honest, I don't remember that much about Ching Yi. I think, like I said, to me, this is a character that I will have higher than most people, I feel like. I do really like Ching Yi. I think her character EP/NV is just like really underrated for me. And she's just, again, super fun every time she's on screen. So, Terminator, I almost cried because it's a family thing, and that tugs on my heartstrings. Me as well. Absolutely. Me as well. Her story about her thinking less of yourself than just replacement parts is so sad. Like I said, man, there's just so much untapped potential in Ching Yi's character. Please just take it all the way. Yeah, the fishing side plot as well was really strong. Yeah, just one of the OG intelligent construct as well, Stone. Yeah, absolutely. She has a lot of things going for her. I really hope they give her more screen time. All right, and now we're getting to the other duo of alongside Alice, Yuzuha. Another character I didn't think I was gonna like that much. Yeah, just like I said, her and Alice just do just so well during the 2.1 main story. They are a duo. They influence each other's characters in the best ways. Yuzuha's growth as well from, being more vulnerable and being more emotionally, approachable, and her backstory with tops and the fact that she was experimented on. It's all very compelling, very strong character. Again, a character I didn't think I was going to rank that highly. Yeah, a backstory similar to Vivian's for sure. I think what holds Yuzuha back for me for being a bit higher is just really one thing. I'm not the biggest fan of her design. I just again her design doesn't really hit for me that much, but her story is great and her relationship with Alice is great as well. So Terminator looked back on 3.1 and I was hit with the realization of Alice and her could have been sisters. Oh yeah, 1000, but they practically are at this point. So they practically are. Guest Chingy EP gave us some insight on how the forbidden fruit test works, and they never elaborate again. Like what? That's also true. That is also very true. Yeah, Chingy's EP is very good. I sometimes I wish I could go back to my trailer ranking and make it go just a bit higher. Just a bit higher. All right. After Yuzuha, we've got Jane, which some people I think are going to be very surprised by. And I think some people won't be, because Jane is great. She's got, again, on the design conversation, one of the best designs in the game. Oh, what a great design. They popped off with their design. And her quest is very strong. We've already talked about Seth and Jane's character dynamic. It's really good. And, her being kind of this spy femme fatale character is very cool. That said, as much as I love Jane, and as much as some people would have her at the very top, her role in the story isn't that large. It's not overly impactful. So honestly, as much as I would love to put her higher, this does feel right to me. It does. Yeah, the Tom and Jerry dynamic. That's exactly the way I would call it, for sure. All right, on to Jane. We've got Astra. Very similar to Jane. Amazing design, right? Compelling story. Fantastic character dynamic with Evelyn. And also, let me add, fantastic character dynamic with Faithin as well. Just the story role isn't that large, and she just doesn't there's a character on this list that's going to place obscenely high, who honestly you would say, well, couldn't you say the same thing about that character as compared to Astra? Look, get off my back, okay? This is my list. But yeah, very similar, just the scope of her character arc and her story isn't just that enormous. That said, I did really like the themes behind her character arc, and her trailers are very strong. I think they're underrated. So, Sandberg, I want to know what happened at Hoyo HQ for them to greenlight her demo. Well, good things. Good things happened. Necessary things. So, guess reminder that Jane Doe has fans in ZZZ as degenerate as us IRL. So remember that fan who wanted Jane to step on them. Never gonna forget. That fan was me. I want Jane to step on me. I'm kidding, by the way. But I mean, can you blame them? Look how she looks. So in hot take, I feel like she has a bigger role in 2.6, 2.7 than 1.1. You're talking about Jane, by the way. I know. You could convince me. Maybe a bigger role, sure, but her character is mostly in 1.1. Terminator, I'm sorry, but I think Astra can be a bit airheaded sometimes. Oh, absolutely. I like the airheadedness. I like her ditziness that she has a little bit. But she's also very sharp and intelligent in ways. One of the most emotionally mature and emotionally aware characters in this entire game, by the way. Astra is very emotionally mature, which I love about her because I like emotionally mature characters. Okay, after Astra, we've got and B, both Anbys. Like I said, I am going to use both Anbys. Anby, Cunning Hair's member, has a really, really solid character quest, and obviously fantastic character dynamics with the rest of the Cunning Hairs. One of the game's mascots, right? Alongside, the Burger Queen, Burger Girl. And also, by the way, very underrated trust events as well. I really like her bonding events. I haven't talked about the bonding events that much. I like her bonding events. I think she's really good. So, I think the one thing holding like Anby back from being higher for me is, I will say, I was expecting a bit more from her agent story. Just a bit more. I felt it was a good agent story, but I did expect a bit more. Yeah, she has one of the saddest backstories. Her trailers are really strong. The Silver Soldier Anby trailers are good. But yeah, the agent story in particular, I think I was like, man, this is going to be one of the best ones. And it was solid. It was good. But it wasn't like Seed's agent story, right? So. All right, after Anby. I missed. After Anby, we finally have the man. We've talked about him already. Minato is great, man. What a great supporting character. And he does take the spotlight at times. And he's just super likable. He's got a great design. He should have been an S-rank character, I will always say. But yeah, the main thing with Minato is just he's great in every scene that he's in, and he doesn't get the spotlight often, but regardless, he's great, right? He's great as a supporting character, and when he does get the spotlight, he's great as a main focus character as well. Super likable, great design. There's not much else to say. He's just consistently good across the board, right? So, Terminator Xbox mascot Chu. She's also the mascot for, let me check my phone app. I think it's Anby. Yeah, it is Anby, I think. Yep. So, she shares the mascot girl with like Nicole. Stone, Astra's backstory made me want to cry so much. Yeah, Astra's, like, her backstory in the trailers are great. Terminator, I'd rate her higher just because of her talk with Soldier 11. Yes. Like I said, we're close to getting to the end of this tier, so she is ranked quite highly. Sandberg, hot take, I like Minato as an A rank. I would have preferred for him to be an S rank, but I do see the argument for why he was an A rank. That's the way I will say it. Okay, and then the last agent that we have in this tier is Ellen. Honestly, for a while, I was very tempted to put her up a tier, but I do feel like because of the scope of her story, and the fact that as much as I like Ellen, she isn't like, there isn't anything in particular about Ellen that like really captures me. It's just good across the board, very similar to Minato, just likable, good agent story, like a very solid agent story, great design, great trailers, some of the best trailers in the game, right? And there's a certain, magic to being the first banner of the game as well. So, yeah, guessed Ellen, the very first ever limited S-rank character. So, and I disagree just because I feel like he had a bigger role in 2.3 than Yidhari. Well, okay, so that I somewhat disagree with. I think Yidhari is really, really solid in 2.3. But fair enough. Minato is just, I think, such a good supporting character at times that he can't like capture the attention of the audience away from Lucia and Yidhari. So, guess I think it's probably Hoyoverse's best first limited character. So we have Ellen, then we've got Venti, and in Star Rail, who was it in Star Rail? Zila. It was Zila. Yeah, I would agree. She is my favorite of those three. But because of personality, design, goddamn the EP. Yeah, like I said, her trailers are so good. What fantastic trailers, even though they were some of the first in the game. All right, after Ellen, we're finally getting into the tier. These are all characters I would say, yeah, they got me. Like I bought into the hype, or I like experienced the hype without ever knowing the hype was coming, right? These are characters that I truly, truly like a lot and would feel very sad if they ever got removed from the story. We are now getting to like the elite guys. These are these really good characters in the game. Starting off with the first character in Random Play Cinema, Zhao. Talking about a character that I did not expect to like. Man, is Zhao awesome, dude. Her development is top notch. Certainly very well written. Who would have thought that the character that would have been placed... Yeah, Stone, Zhao is this high. I think Zhao is great. I was enthralled by her character in 2.5. I thought she was just good from start to finish. The trio of Phaethon, Yesheng Wang, and Zhao is so good for no reason. They had no reason to make that trio be so good. Like, talk about unexpected character dynamics that just work. Like, I was so shocked that I was like, really? We're breaking Zhao along with us for this long? And she just has fantastic chemistry with Wise and fantastic chemistry with Yesheng Wang. They just really worked, and she just develops so well as a character. She's a part of Krampus, and just, yeah, good design as well. So really ended up being a big fan of Zhao. Staying with the pink girls. Nicole. So the amount of characters between Zhao, Banyue, and Dylan makes me a bit sad. Yeah, Zhao, remember the other day, I forget who was who, but someone asked me my favorite Krampus character, and I was like, pretty no hesitation. Zhao. Yeah, Zhao is my favorite Krampus character. Yeah, it does help that she was introduced very early in season 2 of Sandberg. That is indeed. So, but yeah, Miss Broke Boss. Nicole is just what else is there to say besides the fact that she's just great across the board? There's just nothing wrong about Nicole. Amazing design, peak design, one of the best designs in the game. Super likable, good backstory, compelling backstory, really good role in the story as well. She's always going to be relevant because she's the leader of the Cutting Hairs, right? Hopefully we get an SP for her eventually. Fantastic character dynamics with Phaethon and the rest of the Cutting Hairs. Just, really, really great. Just really solid. For a while, she was my favorite Cutting Hairs character until, something happened at the end of season 2. And then a new Cutting Hair character took that spot. So, yes, we saw a calculative individual into developing empathy in real time. Yes, talking about Zhao. Absolutely. While still retaining, by the way, her, intellectual and her being relatively, calculative still. She developed empathy in real time while still retaining what made Zhao Zhao. Just really good character writing. Guess, is Nicole up there because of her story or because of her big personality and his pink strategically placed mole? Yeah, if you guys will allow me, this is the second character after Grace that I will be down bad for. Nicole is hot as fuck. I mean, most of us would agree, right? Very little people would disagree. I bought a figure of Nicole a while back, and I think I got scammed out of it. I'm pretty sure I got scammed out of it. I'll have to call the company again. All right, after Nicole, we've got, I think, might be my biggest hot take of this list so far. But I feel like some people will understand. I do think Miyabi is next. Look, she's a Void Hunter. I get it. She is one of the most popular characters in the game, if not the most popular character in the game, right? And her story is really good. Her story is very strong. She has some amazing trailers. The animated short is really, really good. And I think her role in the story during 1.5, is it 1.5 or 1.4? It's also really good. And again, one of the most relevant characters in the entire story because of the fact that she is a Void Hunter. She's always going to be important. Yeah, Stone, you can say whatever you want in chat, okay? Let me defend myself, even though I'm not really defending myself. I think the thing with Miyabi, and again, great design. I think the thing with Miyabi for me and why she just isn't super, super high is because it's just her personality isn't as engaging for me as it is for some other people. yeah, she's funny and she's cute and she's got this like, this this ditzy vibe to her, right? That, is you can get behind. But I feel like a lot of other people like it a lot more than me. Like I like it, but I don't like it that much. So for me, most of what's doing the heavy lifting here is just her character and her story, right? Which is fantastic. If it was just her character and her story, she would be much higher. But, you know, just her personality, we vibe. We just don't vibe as much as some of the character as we don't vibe as much as other characters on this list. So Terminator, I personally have a problem with the Void Hunter marketing, but her as a character is awesome. She's literally female of Virgil. Yeah, like I come alive. The big cool moment. Yeah, definitely one of the best scenes in all of ZZZ. Sandberg, it's so funny they pulled Miyabi out of nowhere during 2.5. She literally just showed up. Like, hey, how's it going, guys? I'm here to lend my sword. Which, in all fairness, the creator was like about to do their thing, so makes sense. Guess, hey, remember when Miyabi had that wide-eyed era? Yeah, like she had like a beta model that was just not as good as like the current model. I do remember that. So I know this is a hot take. I know. Like I said, this is mostly like me not vibing completely with her personality. This is mostly what that is. Okay, after Miyabi, we have one of the two most recent characters on this list. By the way, guys, you better be grateful. I don't think I'm getting those hot dogs, so I'm gonna get them tomorrow. We're gonna keep going on the stream. I don't think I'm making it, so be grateful. After this, Sigrid was so good during 3.1. So good. Genuinely loved Sigrid. I thought she was funny. I thought she was just really great with Remielle and Phaethon. And I'm excited to see how her like crazy natural instinct intuition continues to come into play in the Rose Kalifer story. And I anticipate, I haven't done it yet, but I anticipate she will also be super fun in the event, the summer event that I have yet to do. But yeah, she was a great comic relief character, but also just like a character that I just liked and just I felt was just every time on screen just entertaining and just really can't say much beyond that. If you were to ask me, do you think eventually Miyabi will be ranked higher than Sigrid? Absolutely. I don't think Miyabi is going to stay behind Sigrid for the rest of time. Eventually, Sigrid is going to fall behind Miyabi. That's just going to happen. But for now, yeah, I do think I like Sigrid just a bit more. So, guys, by the way, near the end of the season 1 had a lot of tension because we're like on the edge of becoming enemies with our friends. I liked that. Oh yeah. Season 1 had a lot of like very special things and unique things that it did, like what you just described, guest, that I do hope that they bring back in some ways later down the line. Terminator, okay, Sigrid fooled me. I looked up her voice and I found out it was Nilo VA from Genshin. Her voice changed so much that I thought it was someone else. That's crazy. I have heard Nilo's voice. That is pretty different. But yeah, Sigrid. Also, by the way, we're now getting into the realm of most of the extremely, extremely hot characters. Yeah, this character is absurdly attractive. I will be down bad for the most part going forward. All right, after Sigrid, we've got the boy himself. My favorite Cunning Hares member. It is, of course, Billy. If Pleiades were here, they'd be freaking out. But yeah, Billy is just great, man. I'm so glad that they gave Billy and Cecilia the role that they did at the end of season 2, and they kept them on for season 3. Just fantastic. Every once in a while, a writer will make a story or like a plot development decision that you're just like, hell fucking yeah. Like not even the writing, just like the story idea itself. And the decision to keep Billy and Cecilia with us going into season 3 and Rose Kalifer, God bless. Good job, Anya. He's funny as hell. He's cool. He's in some ways, but also just like a boy failure in other ways. He's got an interesting backstory with the Sons of Caledon, right? Amazing design. One of the best designs in the entire game, especially as Billy. Just, I mean, what else can you say? Like, this character, you guys knew was going to be super high. So, yeah, glow up and just really great. Yeah, and they even have more champion / Caledon plot lines, Sandberg, to continue for sure. So, all right. After Billy, right next to Billy, another just elite character. They're right next to each other in the story, Cecilia. I'm going to say this right now. This character's design, I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not the biggest fan of Cecilia's design. I feel like that's not necessarily that hot of a take. I feel like some people love Cecilia's design and some people don't like it that much. Despite me not liking the design that much, Cecilia is this high. She is phenomenal. Just the perfect supporting character. Funny, just the perfect comedic relief, but also a good character arc, emotionally compelling, fantastic character dynamic with Billy and Phaethon and Fairy, right? There's a reason why this character is as popular as she is. And also, yes, Terminator, voiced by Arlecchino, which is crazy to me. What a difference. You could make an argument. You could convince me that it is the best voice acting performance in the game. You could very much convince me that. So, but yeah, Cecilia, I mean, what else is there to say, right? There's not much to say. We all know why Cecilia is great. We all know why Cecilia is great. We all know why we love Cecilia. So, and then finally, we do arrive at the point now where the Angels of Delusion meet their end. Listen, man, Suna is very much daughter as fuck. And honestly, she was for the longest time. Well, not the longest time. She was for a while like my ZZZ daughter, like the daughter character for me in ZZZ, until, you know, that changed. Because my daughter character in ZZZ is very clear at this point. I don't know if some of my regular viewers are still around, but you guys very much know who my daughter character in this game is. But yeah, she's cute. I love her dynamic of the rest of the Angels of Delusion. Her character development in the event I thought was very well written. I love her voice actor. Alexis Tipton does a great job. Her like anxiousness yet still like direct honesty is like very, very fun as well. Just really great. Sandberg, to be fair, it'll be very in character for her to wear something abyssal. Yeah, Cecilia doesn't have the best fashion sense. That is true. So, guess best comedy character in the whole game. The VA is goated. Yeah, guess Cecilia's VA, like I said, you could convince me, has the best voice acting performance in the game. Sandberg, Corin's so good they made a sequel. They are different, but they are both adorable. They are both daughter for sure. All right, that is the end of the Random Play Cinema tier. We are now getting into some elite territory. So, these last two tiers have a very special distinction. I'm going to talk about them really quickly. I have 4 characters in this game, currently, 4 of them, that are all-time characters for me. Like, Hall of Fame characters that I will remember till the end of my days, characters that I would do video essays about on YouTube, characters that, you know, I love with all my heart. There's only 4 of those characters, and that is the Zenless Limit characters. Those characters, in my opinion, those 4 characters are not really, it's almost to the point where they're not fair to compare to the rest of the characters on this list. So in a way, because it is unfair to have those 4 characters, you know, as a part of this comparison, this is like, in a way, my top tier. So any character in this tier is like a part of my favorite characters in the game tier. It's just that those 4 characters that I'm speaking of, the ones in the Zenless Limit, you almost have to get rid of them because they're playing on a completely different field. They've gone past Zenless Zone 0 and are now like competing in like cross series for me. So, all right, to start the tier with, we finally have my ZZZ Husbando. Not my favorite character, not my favorite male character in the game, but my ZZZ husbando. Lighter, if you'll allow me to be down bad, is hot as fuck. Bro, I'm not gay, but if I was, you know what I'm saying? Lighter is great, man. He's just such a bro. He's definitely the first bro character in the game, and that like I truly fell in love with. Then obviously later down the line we get Minato and a couple of other characters as well, but he's just such a great character. His EP/Envy is amazing. One of my favorites in the game, probably top 3. And even though his story is pretty short, it's short and sweet. It's simple. It's powerful. It's compelling. Everything about Lighter is amazing, and one of the best designs in the game as well. So, okay, Mr. Bi, I'm not bi. Trust me. If you guys were to look into my horny folder on my computer, you would see that I am the straightest individual of all time. It would be much easier if I was bi. I will say that. Sometimes I wish I was bi, but I am not. But yeah, I can be down bad for a male character still. I like when he does the aura. Indeed, he is a Chad. After Lighter, we are now getting into, again, there's going to be a lot of characters that I will be down bad for going forward. Velina, I felt, was so underrated in 3.0. I understand that a lot of people think that 3.0 was like mostly focused on Norma. I feel like Velina got like such amazing subtle character writing in 3.0. I love her design. Obviously, she's really, really attractive. But also, one thing that I will point out, very, very good trust events. I think Velina's trust events / bonding events are really good. I really like them. And honestly, it's what made me like put her this highly. I think without Velina's trust events, she might be like around here, like closer to like this tier. But because of her trust events, oh yeah, really great character. Terminator, without Velina, Norma wouldn't be able to shine. Indeed, well said. They support each other as characters. It's just I feel like Velina. I saw some comments, not many, but I did say some comments on the fact that Velina didn't get a lot of attention in 3.0. I can kind of understand why you might think that, but you got to look a bit deeper. So, and I feel like 3.0 focused on Norma because they knew she'd be the unit that sell less. Yeah, but like I said, 3.0 focuses on Norma more directly. So, I guess, so that's what I'm missing. I was confused when you put Velina that high. I hadn't done the trust event. I love her bonding events. I think her bonding events are really strong. They're some of the better ones in the game for sure. But I will say, a large part of why she is high is how hot she is. Listen, man, I'm going to put the characters that I find attractive high. Is that so wrong? One of these characters is going to be almost entirely based on how attractive they are. So, yeah, Stone, call me whatever you want. I am proud of being a gooner. I am proud. I take pride in it. All right, after Velina, we are going again to a character that is going to be ranked highly, again, due to how attractive she is. But I do think she is just a really solid character as well. Jiyen. I think I've talked about this before. Jiyen might be the character I relate the most with in this game. Okay, like, yeah, she has a nice ass. She literally has the biggest ass in the game. I'm not even joking. There's like a chart somewhere that someone made. Jiyen having such a loving, supportive, nurturous relationship with her family, specifically her parents, is so refreshing. Because I've talked about this before. I love my parents and my older brother, right, my immediate family, more than anything in this world. They are my life. They are my number one priority. They support me. They love me. They're behind me all the way, and I feel the same way about them. And to see a character to not just have their parents alive, but also have a active, dedicated, committed relationship with their family is so refreshing. I love her EP and Envy for that reason entirely. Like, just, just the fact that she cares so much about her mom and her dad and her family, it's just so great. But also, again, she's hot as fuck. Like, come on, man. I'm going to be saying that a lot going forward. You're just going to have to accept it. Terminator, your fave. I respect it, my friend. Officer Booty. Stone, there's a chart. Yeah, there's a chart out, or like a, I don't know, like a, there's a diagram out there that basically someone took like the pixels or like the character models, and they basically measured who has like the biggest like bust size and who has like the biggest waist and like the biggest hips in the game. It's out there somewhere. But Zhu Yan has the biggest, confirmed, like literally, the biggest ass in the game, for sure. Guess Zhu Yan is my first ZZZ waifu at the end of season 1. I was so conflicted, even felt bad for lying to her. Also, yeah, I haven't even talked about it. Thank you, guest. One of the better character dynamics with Faith in the game. Zhu Yan has some amazing character dynamics. Faith in, but also Qing Yi. I really like her character dynamic with Qing Yi. And also just one of the more lovable agents in the game. Super kind, caring, considerate, honorable, and she's like, I've talked about like aspects of her character like that don't matter too much. She's a great character, to be clear. She is a great character. She's like the classic hardworking character, but for some reason she's hella interesting. Indeed. I hope, by the way, we get more screen time with her. I think she is one of the premier ZZZ characters and deserves more screen time. I think we should get her again in the main story. So, Sandberg, I hope they buff Zhu Yan to be at least comparable to Pyrois. I don't think they will, because they added her to the standard pool, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I am indeed a target audience. Terminator, but I will blame Azrael Vanity for giving me the idea that her dad might be dead and she helps her mom by being there more often. Nope, I refuse. Also, I thought, don't they have a group chat? Like at one point in one of the trailers where it shows that her dad is like also texting? Or like, does she refer to them as they or something? I don't remember. No, I refuse to believe that her dad is gone. She has a loving, nurturing, supportive family, and we stand her for it. Also, she's got the best ass in the game. Well, no, never mind. Ghosty Flame, what's going on, my man? First time chatter, welcome into the stream. Okay, I need an explanation on the names for this tier list. The Void Hunters are the best in the game, obviously, so Void Hunter Peak. Random Play Cinema, because Absolute Cinema, but obviously Random Play, better than Absolute, so Random Play Cinema. Evelyn was once upon a time, spoilers for the top tier, my favorite character in the game. Now, she no longer is. Obviously, for those of you who have watched me for a while now, you guys know who my favorite character in the game is now. We'll get to her. We might get to her eventually. You know, we'll see. And then Starlight Lit because of Billy, and then meh. So, but yeah, welcome Flame or Ghosty Flame because I have a chatter called Flamer. So, but yeah, Zhu Yan is awesome. Guess strangely enough, because of the world setting being normal, is what made her stand out. Indeed, actually. But like that's the thing with like so many JRPGs and games and animes. Like almost no characters in video games have like a stable, supportive family dynamic because it just isn't that interesting. But because it hasn't ever really been done that consistently, it's, you know, it's refreshing is the word. But yeah, 80% of the ZZZ character backstories are just like the tragedy. You're right, guest. And it all leads back to the fall of the old capital. All right, after Zhu Yan, we're kind of going still consistently with the like very hot characters. Yanagi. You guys know that I have a very, very sharp bias for Yanagi. Her character teaser. It's her character teaser, the one where she like meets Sokaku for the first time. It's just so good, man. It's one of the best in the game. And I like her design. I think it's nice, simple, and obviously she's hot. But also just, I'm a big fan of, you know, these type of characters. There's a reason why Velina, Zhu Yan, and Yanagi are ranked this highly, right? They're attractive, but she's motherly in ways as well. But also, her quest with the rest of Section 6. I don't remember if it's Agent Story or just a main story quest. I think it's Agent Story, where they go into the simulation and they get trapped. I thought that was a really good character arc for her. I liked it a lot. So Yanagi, pretty high. I do think over time she will drop, but for now, she's high. I will always defend Yanagi. All right, now we're going to get to what I want to call. This is a duo in a way, but it's not really a duo because I don't think they've even interacted in the main story. The male character fantastic elite writing duo, Harumasa and Lycon. When you talk about good male characters in ZZZ, you think of these two characters, right? And also Lighter and Minato as well, right? And Billy, technically, if you want to count him. But man, do these characters are fucking expertly written. Just wow, just from start to finish, man. Harumasa is just, for a while, and I thought was going to have my favorite agent story in ZZZ. And honestly, you could convince, like, for a while, he was like, his agent story was like my favorite story in ZZZ. Just very well written. Just from, again, I can't defend Harumasa enough. His design is great. I think he's got a fun personality, but yeah, it's his character arc, his backstory in the agent story, the tragedy that comes with it. His trailers are also pretty fucking solid. But yeah, just great. So, Terminator, I like that her Oni blood is slowly killing her eyes. Going back to Yanagi, yeah, that is also something interesting about her as well. Terminator, Harumasa's story had a villain that I literally hated and loved Haru for taking him down. Yeah, I forgot his name, but what a fucking bitch that guy was. Oh my goodness. Sage, are you still around, my friend? I think Sage left us, unfortunately. But yeah, wow. Sage hyped that agent story up to me to no end, and it met every expectation. So yeah, great character. Harumasa is fantastic. That said, Lycon is just, bro. Everyone loves this character, and for good reason. He is one of the ZZZ icons, isn't he? In my opinion, the best male character in the game. I wouldn't say pretty easily, but solidly. Just his dynamic with Hugo is amazing. His backstory is just compelling and powerful. He's super likable. He's got some of the best dialogue in the game. He's got a great agent story. I think it's an agent. Yeah, he's got a great agent story. He has amazing character dynamics with everyone in Victoria housekeeping. He's got a peak design. Like, what more can you say about Lycon that makes him so great? Right? Like, he just is. He just is, man. Lycon make you question your sexuality. Unfortunately, I'm not a furry. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. I am not a furry. I don't want to say unfortunately. I have no desire to be a furry. I take that back. But yeah. Go see Flame. Most streamers I see don't give a fuck about him. Sag Lycon? Oh no, Harumasa. Well, listen, man. His agent story is just peak. So they just didn't pay attention to the agent story, I guess. But yeah, and also Lycon and Hugo's toxic yaoi plotline is fantastic as well. So, but yeah, just a great character all around. Every time I see Lycon in the story, it's just such a joy. Guest Harumasa, one of my few characters that made me question my sexuality. And Harumasa has one of the tightest character writing in the game. Agreed. Tightest character writing is the way I would describe Harumasa's agent story. It is just very efficient, just all the way through. And yeah, he is attractive as well. So, and the agent story is, yeah, everything is connected. Yeah, Guest, you and I are right there aligned. The only flaw in Harumasa's agent story is it isn't voiced more. Yeah, it would be nice, but you could say that about everything, right? You could say that about everything. So, Ghostly Flame, Haru and Hugo are my faves. I'm right there with you with one of them, and then the other one, unfortunately, well, I do really like Hugo. He's doing well in these character rankings. He just isn't at the very top. So, all right. Well, that is all the male characters we have left. Unfortunately, in ZZZ, Lycon is my favorite male character in ZZZ. He's not my husbando though. Lighter is. So we've got the girlies going forward. I feel like all of you probably expected these characters in the top 10, right? I've talked about these characters at some point before on my stream. Let's start off with our favorite Shifu, Yi Xuan. Yi Xuan, I feel like, gets a bad rep. And I get why, right? She's absent at times where you kind of really want to see her in the main story. Her character sometimes is a Mary Sue. Here's my counter argument to Yi Xuan's character. Have you seen her ass? Have you seen how nice her ass is? Have you guys seen it? Have you guys seen how nice her legs are? Sorry, I was trying to keep that going as long as possible. Okay, I'll talk about it more later, but in all seriousness, yes, I do think Yi Xuan's character writing isn't the strongest in the game. I will acknowledge that. Here's where I want you guys to meet me halfway. I really, really like mentor characters. Like I just really have always loved mentor characters. It started with Master Shifu from Kung Fu Panda, and ever since I've always been a big fan of mentor characters. And I especially like mentor characters that are attractive as Yi Xuan is. So, but she has some nice moments for her. I don't think she's a bad character at all. I think she's a very solid character. Compared to like Lycon and Haramasa, she doesn't quite meet the mark. I understand. But she's dope as fuck. She had until recently the best character demo in the game. Her story, her animated short, by the way. Love her animated short, honestly. I might like it as much as her character demo. Because another thing I'm a big fan of is like sibling stories. Because like I said, I have a younger brother, so I very much vibe with the sibling stories. But yeah, her story in 2.0 and 2.1 I thought was good. I really like the fact that in 2.5 the story humanizes her a bit by showing that she wasn't necessarily like a perfect leader. Like her negligence and inattentiveness caused the situation with Ye Guang and the Qingming sword to go out of control. So I like the fact that they gave her like a genuine flaw despite portraying her as like a very perfect character. So long story short, with Yi Xuan, a lot of the reasons why I like her are entirely subjective. Entirely subjective. I understand this character objectively isn't the best. I disagree with people that say she's objectively bad. I think she's a very solid character. But subjectively, I love her. And if you'll allow me to be down bad for a moment, you guys know how a lot of people like argue like who is the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan or LeBron James, right? If you argue Kareem, sure, I'll listen to your argument, but it's mostly LeBron and MJ, right? I feel bad for Yi Xuan because Yi Xuan genuinely, depending on who you let's just assume that MJ is the greatest of all time. I disagree, but let's call Michael Jordan the greatest basketball player of all time. I legitimately think Yi Xuan is just LeBron James in terms of like being the hottest gacha character of all time. She just unfortunately was a part of the same game where with the real hottest gacha character of all time. You know, like in every other scenario and every other gacha game, I legitimately think this is the most attractive character in the game. That like any other gacha game. Yi Xuan is absurdly hot. It is unfair. She just unfortunately is in the same game with the actual most attractive character of all time. So, I'm sorry, Yi Xuan. Let me catch up. Hey, Pleiades, how's it going, my friend? I wish we had you for the silly moment, Pleiades. Welcome into the stream. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So, let me catch up with chats there here really quick. Ghostly Flame. Lycon is a very cool chew indeed. Terminator, the Grandmaster that scams and gaslights people. Indeed. I am the target audience, Stone. I am the target audience. Terminator, look at her ass with Caesar's shield on her. It glows. Oh my goodness. I even think about that. I'll have to wait till I summon Caesar, but goddamn. Sandberg, Yi Xuan will pay what she did to character design direction. Hey, Sandberg, I understand your misgrievings, but listen, what she did to the character design direction was very good for me. Because let's just say that I really like that character design direction from a male gaze perspective. We'll call it that. Terminator, I like her flaw that her being detached because her sister died by the sword, and not only that, her sister forgot her before she died. Yep, agreed. I think 2.5 was a very, very nice underrated moment for Yishuan's character. Stone, I'm sorry, but I will always think Remielle is the hottest character. Hey man, I don't blame you whatsoever. On YouTube, they say the bigger the mass, the more it bends space-time, creating gravity. And I'm attracted to those gravity fields, right? Mm-hmm. Indeed. So, guest, I really, really like mentor characters. Hell yeah, Justice for Master Roshi. That might be a mentor character I don't really like that much. So, okay. Sticking with Suibian Temple and Yunquei Summit, Yesheng Wang. Look, man, a lot of people criticize this character, right? Because, favoritism, and she got, she's always shipped with Phaethon, and specifically Wise, and she gets all this screen time, and you're supposed to like her. Well, guess what, man? I'm supposed to like her? Well, I do. In fact, I love her. 2.5 is really good. It's one of the best character arcs. I wouldn't say it's one of the best character arcs in the game. Certainly one of the best, stories and story patches in the game. And I mean, yeah, she gets all the resources. She gets all the screen time, but she uses it well. Like, I fully bought into her character relationship with Phaethon. I thought it was really compelling, very emotional, but it isn't just that. She has the emotion and character dynamic with her brother as well, and the rest of Suibian Temple and Yunquei Summit, like Yishuen Shifu. So just, yeah, very solid character. Again, some of the best trailers in the game. I will say this, not too high on her design. I have warmed up to her design with time, but not too high on it. But I mean, what else there's to say? Like, we all know why we love this character, and yeah, she deserves it. So, Stone, yeah, she used to be your number one. Ghostly Flame, her story arc was 11 hours. It was very long, and it was enjoyable every step of the way through. Terminator, I think her brother was a star more than her. Well, that's a hot take. I disagree, but to each their own. To each their own. Sandberg, Shungus is so cool as a concept, but was executed so badly. Again, agree to disagree, guys. Because the Shungus conversation will be there for till the end of time. But just if you're not that big of a fan of Shungus, fair. I can understand why some people don't like her. But I do love her. I do love her. I expected for me to like her a lot, and I do. So. Guest, dude, Yesheng Guang, favorite character of all time for you. Wow, so we have a true Yesheng Guang fan. I always knew that you loved Yesheng Guang, but I didn't know she was number one ever. Hell, watching you do Yesheng Guang is the reason I came back to ZZZ. Well, okay, thank you very much, guest. That is very flattering, and that does touch me. I appreciate the compliment. The conflict between her brother, her inner self, even Suibian Temple, and finally the payoff, just French kiss. You are a true fan. Legitimately, I liked it so much to a point my hands got antsy, and I bought her skin, which is a first for me. There we go. There we go. Stone, me and Gulio the Soul Shunguan fans. Ghostly Flame, I'm sorry I can't agree. Again, this is what makes storytelling so fantastic, right? That we can be here and we can chat, we can have discussions and conversations and have wildly different opinions, but still be able to have a great time with it, right? We can still have a very enjoyable chat, and we can all have wildly different opinions, and that's what makes storytelling so fantastic. So, Sandberg, I like Shungus. I just want her concept to be better realized. I did think she was pretty well written, but sure. Again, agree to disagree. All right, moving on before we get into an even bigger discussion. We've got what was once, in my opinion, potentially my second favorite character in the game behind what was my favorite character in the game for the longest time. Vivian, I love to death. God damn. I knew I was going to like her, but not to this extent. Just very, very compelling backstory. One of the best designs in the whole game. Just such a great design. Great trailers. Just, again, it's one of those characters like we're just like, man, there's not a lot to hate on. Like the one thing that you can hate on Vivian, I think, is if you find her like stalker personality annoying rather than endearing, then yeah, I can see why some people wouldn't like her. But to me, I just find it so cute and so endearing. And again, very emotional as well. Good character development, great character arc. I loved her dynamic with Phaethon. I also loved her dynamic with Hugo. I thought that one was really good as well. And just overall, I think one of the fan favorite characters in ZZZ, and for a good reason, right? So, Stone, you're number 3. Hey, very high on your list as well. We catch up with guests, and I really like the dynamic between regular her and I alter her with Faith, and it's like, oh, she's cute to dear God, she's hella hot. The sudden switch always caught me off guard in a good way and made me skip a heartbeat. Again, Yeshen Guang, very, very dynamic character. At the very least, you can agree on that. That maybe you don't like her, but she's an incredibly dynamic character for sure. Yeah, Terminator, her fanaticism over the MCs is very funny. Okay, and finally, you guys, we've talked about this before. I've made my top 4 characters in ZZZ very clear over the past month or two, I think. Well, month, in recent days, let's call it that. My viewers that have watched me for a while, you guys know what my top 4 will be. But the question always was, what was the number 5 slot going to be? And yes, I think it is. It's Yidhari. I expected to love this character. And still had my expectations surpassed. Let's get it out of the way. I'll say it right now. Let's get it out of the way. This character is hot as fuck. Yidhari is just really nice to look at. But there's like so much behind her. There's the fact that she's a creative writer, which I've said before. I am also a creative writer, so I can relate to her in that sense. But I also was surprised at how much I liked her story in 2.3. I thought it was emotional. I thought it was compelling. I loved her character dynamic with Phaethon. I thought it was really strong. And her character dynamic with Lucia is also really cute as well. I didn't honestly expect her to be kind of like the superstar of that patch. I thought it was like, well, not the superstar, but the main focus character of that patch. I thought it was going to be Lucia. But yeah. And as my chat is saying right now, Terminator, she is the Gunnar character. I don't know if she is the Gunnar character, but she is very much a Gunnar character. And yes, thank you for I was about to get to it. Her event is one of the better ones in the game. Straight up, like one of the best events in the game. I think it's the Pokemon event, right? The one where you control the Ethereals. That was my introduction to Yidhari. I did that event before I did the 2.3 main story. And the whole flashback with her kind of remembering her memories coming back of what happened during her childhood and with her parents and kind of putting the pieces together. I thought it was all super good. I love that this character is emotionally vulnerable. I love that she is emotionally vulnerable and that at times she's willing to share and that in other times she's not willing to share. There's a lot of things about this character very similar to Yi Xuan. Subjectively, I like a lot of things about this character, just straight up. But also, I think objectively, she's handled very well. And again, she is just absurdly attractive. So, Sandberg, I just wish she used her tentacles more in her animations. I kind of agree, but I love her animations so much because I'm a Monster Hunter fan, and she plays a lot like Hammer in Monster Hunter. So. The Octocult, yeah, no, it's not the Octocult, it's the Tentacult Stone. And also, yeah, we have a special connection to Yidhari on the channel because of the inside joke. For those of you guys who are a bit newer, there's the Gulio channel lore for you. We established the Tentacult here. So On YouTube, what's going on? Superior Miyabi. Yo, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good weekend. Welcome to the stream. Hope you stick around. But yeah, we are getting towards the end here. So, guest agreed. Indeed. Indeed, guest. Indeed. All right, so we're getting to the top 3 characters. Don't question me about top 4. It was always a top 3, right? There's no 4th slot on this list, right? There was always a top 3 characters, right? All right, so these next 4 characters to me are all-time characters that have gone past ZZZ at this point, who have established themselves in my Hall of Fame, right? My trophy case of like, these are some of my favorite characters in all of gaming and all of fiction and all of entertainment. These characters are characters that I will actively, talk about. I could talk about them for hours. I will buy merch for them, the whole shebang. I love these characters more than I can describe. So the question is at this point, just what rank are they in? And I will say this now, spoiler alert for those that have watched me for some time, the ranking is the same as I've said it. So number 4 is Remielle. Remielle, for the longest time, I thought was going to be my favorite character in this game. She got close, I will say, after 3.1. I think 3.1 is the best story quest in the game, and I think the biggest reason why it is one of the best story quests in the game is because of this character right here. Amazing design. The best trailers in the game. I think most of us would agree, right? One of the best voice acting performances in the game. One of the best character arcs in the game up until now. Some of the best story writing in the game, like with all the lore and stuff connecting her to the OG Void Hunters. And obviously, last but not least, as I've said many times over the past 20 minutes, she is hot as fuck, dude. So, I mean, what else can you say? If there's any character that has been portrayed like she's a baddie and she knows she's a baddie, it is this character. This character knows she's hot and she shows it off, man. Because holy fuck, man. Yep. I'm going to stop it there before I get out of control. Sandberg, Remielle has the potential to get even better as season 3 continues. Yeah, we're not even done with her character. Season 3, Remielle has the potential to get even better throughout the entire game. She's like one of the most important characters in the entire game. So she's a mommy. And the goon dial turned almost all the way up. We're not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. All right. So my second favorite character in the game. I did not expect this whatsoever for a very long time. That I thought this character was just fine. Okay. Like I was like, yep, I like her well enough. And then I played through season 2. And then I liked her a bit more. I was like, you know what? This character is cool. I like her more than I thought so originally, right? And then I played the best story in ZZZ to this day. It has yet to be surpassed. 3.1 was amazing, but it did not contend with this. Seed's agent story is, in my opinion, one of Hoyoverse's magnum opuses. It is one of the best stories that Hoyoverse has ever told. It is the shining crown, the shining jewel of ZZZ. It is fantastic from start to finish, and dare I say, close to a masterpiece. Or maybe like if you were to try to convince me either way, you might be able to. Seed went from a character that I liked well enough to just, honestly, probably in my opinion, the best written character in the game. It's these two characters right here are the 2 best written characters in the game, in my opinion. Seed, Remielle, in that order. Terminator, Seed was one of the most ambitious agents in ZZZ history. I agree. Like, I know some people are upset, like, oh, Seed didn't end up being the robot. I understand, right? It's the Firefly thing all over again. We're not going to get into that conversation. But talking about her writing, they took this character and they said, they were like, all right, let me stretch, you know? Like the ZZZ writing team were basically given the instructions: cook, pop off, perform, like go, like hit it out of the park for us. Like they said, we are giving you the most ambitious, most emotional, most, you know, highly invested stories for any agent in this game, and pull it off. And they did. God damn, bro. Fucking hell, is Seed's agent story so good. From the very beginning, you get this like this tension, this lack of like emotional stability from her character, and you are hyper analyzing it from the very beginning of the agent story, and how she interacts with Faith and how she interacts with Oboe Squad, how she interacts with anyone. You are just hyper focused on her mental state and her emotional state, and how that progresses and develops through the agent story as you get into the stuff with like Veronica and, you know, all that jazz, and the reveal of her power, and then the climax of the agent story with Seed Senior and his monologue and the music and the piano playing in the background with that CG art in front of your screen. It is all peak fiction. I will not be told otherwise. I will defend this character to the end of my days. And one of the two moments I have screamed the loudest in this game was during the 3.1 live stream, when I found out I would be able to get this character via the top-up bonus. I was so happy. I was so depressed for so long that I had missed this character, and the fact that I was able to get her by just swiping my credit card is just so relieving. So I love Seed. She is my daughter in this game. She is one of my favorite kind of like daughter-like characters of all time. What a character. Bravo, ZZZ Riders, for pulling it off, because wow. Wow. You will not get me ranting harder in this game by talking. Like, I will rant about Seed's agent story for hours. Rant is the wrong word. I will yap about Seed's agent story for hours, man. God damn. Guest, oof, unfortunately, I was spoiled on Seed's story heavily, and it prevented me from fully enjoying the story. That is just so unfortunate. Guest, I'm so sorry to hear that. I wish I could take it. I wish we could take it back. If we ever invent a neuralizer from Men in Black, this is the part where I want to use it. Yeah, 1000%. Dude, that is just a story that like getting spoiled on is just like such a bad, like, it's just unfortunate. Terminator portrayed with autism and putting Hera in a situation with where how does she deal with the loss of a parent, her having a panic attack was to not even bring up the panic attack, and like, yeah, getting into like, but Seed potentially being portrayed, you know, having a disability, a mental disability, or being on the spectrum in some way. It doesn't matter if, you know, whether or not you buy into that or not, just the writing and the emotion behind it. Just, sorry. I get out of control when I talk about Seed's agent story. I really do. I really do. God, what a character. And I'm so glad that she's on the account. Also, by the way, some really great bonding / trust events. So, okay, I need to cut it off there. Otherwise, I will talk about Seed and her agent story for fucking forever. And we're getting close to 3 hours, even though I wanted this to be like an hour and 15 minutes. So, you know, if you've ever been to a Gulio stream, you kind of probably expected this. All right, my my favorite character in the game, question mark. My favorite character in the game for the longest time. I would not be playing ZZZ today without this character. I played ZZZ because of Zhuyan. I'll admit that she was the first ZZZ waifu. I enjoyed the game, but wasn't like too, you know, invested into it. And then Jane came out. I summoned for her. I lost to 50-50, and I said, that's good enough for me, you know, and I quit the game. And I did not intend to come back. I told myself I was taking a break, but honestly, the more I think about it, no. I was pretty sure I was not going to come back to this game. Then Astra Yao got drip marketed, and I was like, I like this character a lot. Very cool. Could convince me to get back in the game, right? And then the next day came, and a certain character got drip marketed. And when I tell you I had an out of body moment, I had an out of body moment. The way I ascended, like JJK, classic Gojo Satoru, like the honored one. Like I was on my back, floating in midair, staring at the golden heavens above me. I was enlightened. My soul was purified because you guys, I've said this before on stream, but I want to make sure the gravitas of my love for this character is properly portrayed on this stream. I think, personally, Evelyn is the most attractive video game character of all time. I'm saying it. I think she, like, when I was talking about Yi Xuan being the LeBron to another character as MJ, yeah, it's this character. This character, number one, has one of my favorite designs in the entire game. And just one of my favorite designs of all time. Could be my favorite of all time. Yes, above the name that, what do you mean? That, yeah. I am down bad for that character stone for reasons beyond just her being attractive. Evelyn is, in my opinion, the most attractive character in video game history. But it isn't just that, right? For one, she's a good character. Let's get that clear. Her dynamic with Astra is really nice. It's entertaining. It's emotional. It's compelling. Yeah, a lot of people like Astra. Her trailers are really good. Evelyn has some of the best trailers in the game, in my opinion, especially her EP/NV. Her EP/NV might be one of my top 3 favorites in the game. But I think a lot of it is also just, she's just likable, man. She's just everything about her. She's nice, kind, caring, strong, independent, compassionate, passionate, and all those things. Also emotionally vulnerable, at the same time while being emotionally mature, at the same time while also being emotionally, what's the word I'm looking for? Intriguing. I don't know. Not the word I'm looking for. What I'm trying to say is Evelyn is obviously eye candy, but I feel like she is such a well-rounded character. There's so many things that are likable about her. Her character arc with Astra in 1.5 is strong enough. I just feel like they gave Evelyn enough for me personally, to put her at the top alongside just how attractive she is. So this is like half just her being the most attractive video game character of all time, and half me just really liking her and her story and her character dynamic with Astra. Also, by the way, Evelyn and Phaethon, underrated ship, by the way. Her trust events and her bonding events, really cute. So just a heads up. Anytime this character gets any amount of screen time, I thank the gods for that meal. Because unfortunately, Astra and Evelyn, not the biggest, characters in ZZZ, but whatever crumbs you can give me of Evelyn, I'll take it, man. I will take it, and I will be grateful. So, the only other character besides Nicole in ZZZ, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get the new Yi Xuan figure. Yi Xuan has a new figure; it's very good. I've bought a figure of her, so, and I have these. I have this, so that's her drip market. I have her M6 art. This was a gift from me from Japan. My friend got me this as a souvenir from Japan, so I have this. And I'm so down bad for Evelyn that I look for merch that is unofficial, and I also have this, if you allow me to be horny even further. I got this fan Evelyn acrylic stand as well from a Twitter artist that I like. I also have a button, but it's too far away, so I'm not going to grab it. So yeah, for the longest time, Evelyn was my favorite ZZZ character. And I'm going to catch up to Twitch chat before we get to the climax of the stream. So, Terminator Blonde Yelan. If I could, I'd wail for Evelyn. I am planning to wail for Evelyn. When she reruns, we're going to get her M3. So. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me catch up with YouTube. Bella, how's it going? Bella, dropping in by to share well wishes and hope you are doing well. Hey, Bella, thank you so much, my friend. As always, I wish you well with you, your loved ones, and your health. I hope that your recovery is going well. Great to see you, Bella. Hope you're doing well. We're getting into the end of the stream if you want to stick around, but always a joy to see you. Sandberg, I have so much quote-unquote fan art of Evelyn downloaded on my computer, lol. Same here. Yes, indeed. Terminator, her references to assassins is so fucking cool. Yeah, talk about a femme fatale, right? A wire is literally assassination's weapon, indeed. And yeah, her moth motifs are also very cool. Not butterfly, moth motifs. Very cool. Yeah. Trust events are very good. Drunk Evelyn is very cute. Yeah, spoilers for the trust events. So, but okay. Now that I've betrayed my love for Evelyn, who was once my favorite character in the game, that's the end of the tier list, isn't it? No. I have saved the best for last. I wanted to make it dramatic, but you guys all knew this was coming. This character, the way she fucking captured me within 1 millisecond, and it was over. Honestly, I will always describe this character as the Firefly of ZZZ, because you guys know how I always talk about how Firefly came out of nowhere for Star Rail for me. This character came out of nowhere. I liked the original version of this character well enough. Like, they were probably the OG Void Hunter I was most excited for, alongside Remielle. But legitimately, all it took was like 1 second in a trailer of 3.0 for her, and it was over. It was done and dusted. If you'll give me 5 seconds, this character has to be a part of this list. I don't care that she's coming out way, way down the line. Eldreda Sunbringer. In fact, just for I'm doing this temporarily. For blue for her. Okay, no. That's not what I wanted. Wait, what? How did I have it before? Whatever. We can swap this. Or is it like this right here, or right here? There we go. We can move them down. We can give this one. We can give them a pink, or no, like an orange. Oh wait, that's like the same orange. Red. There we go. Good enough. This is Zenless Limit. And this is just Eldreda Sunbringer. This is, I'm going to say it now, my favorite character in ZZZ, and will forever be my favorite character in ZZZ. I don't think anything is surpassing this. Eldreda, and specifically Eldreda Sunbringer. Not the OG Sunbringer. Not Linvern. Not Dracaena. They're fine. I like Dracaena, Linvern, and the OG Sunbringer plenty. They are awesome characters. Specifically, Eldreda Sunbringer captured me within 1 second in 3.0, which is when she's literally walking up to the podium to give her speech. I didn't even see her face. I can tell you guys. When the moment it happened, I did this last stream. I don't care. We're going to do it again. We're there already. This scene is shown in a trailer before 3.0. The moment I saw this, I lost it, dude. Right here. I was like, oh, damn, she's got some legs. And then it was over. Once I realized I was horny for this character, it was over, dude. Because I realized, just her walking side by side This is what this is what did me in, bro. This is what did me in. Just me realizing that I was attracted to this character ended everything. Because that's like step one to like making me like really like you is, am I attracted to you? Then I realized, oh no, I didn't realize that this character has so many of my favorite design qualities. She's got a spear, more specifically, a flag spear. She has white hair. She has horns, like draconic horns on her head. She has heterochromic eyes. She's hot. Like, at this point, all they need is to give her a mech, and I'm done. It's over. It's done. Like, I'm dead at that point. I might as well take out my 401k because I'm retiring because I only have a year left to live. The excitement that I have for Eldreda is monumental. Basically, it feels as if I finally have my true favorite in this game, because even though Evelyn was my favorite for a long time, like, she doesn't have the same scope of character that someone like Yesheng Wang has, right? Or Miyabi has, or Yi Xuan has, or Remielle has, right? Evelyn is, for the most part, unfortunately, a side character. But this character, I can get behind. This is a character that I know that I can invest in early and be there for the long run. There's so many things I love about Eldreda. Number one, she's hot. Number two, she's the coolest character in the game, in my opinion. The coolest character in the game. So she's hot, and she's the coolest character in the game. There we go. And she has so many interesting things about her story. Like the fact that she's a Sunbringer clone, potentially the Sunbringer clone, right? Does she feel guilty about what the OG Sunbringer did, right? Is there going to be a conflict between her and the rest of the Sunbringers, or potentially her and the original Sunbringer, right? What is she really as a Sunbringer clone, right? Why is she in such conflict with Remielle? Well, that question got answered, but you know, what's the truth behind the Hive Lord Hollow? There's so many questions about Sunbringer, but also questions about Eldreda. And like I said, it's not the OG Sunbringer. It's not Linvern. It's not Dracena. It is Eldreda. I hope to God it is Eldreda Sunbringer that is playable. I love this character. She is my favorite character in ZZZ. Will always be my favorite character in ZZZ. And when she comes out, I will almost certainly be M6ing Eldreda Sunbringer. My only M6 in ZZZ, my second M6 in Hoyoverse history. Welcome to the list. All right. We can I'm gonna keep it like this, even though she is like my number one, because this is like the 4, right? They are in the same tier. So let me catch up here with chat really quick, because I ignored you guys because I was simping over Eldreda. Terminator Eldreda being voiced by Erica is so unexpected. Yeah. Erica Lindbeck, very, very iconic, talented, skilled voice actor. Very cool. Like, holy hell, that's Cheveres from Genshin. Ooh, I don't recognize that character. I'm sorry. The power in the power in Eldreda is monumental. She's so cool, but also so hot. It's crazy. I love it. Yes, Sandberg, it'll be very interesting where they take her and the other Sunbringers characters. I have an idea of where they will be going with their characters, and if it's what I'm thinking it is, I am all for it. Buckle me in. I'm ready for this roller coaster. Play 80s, you describing her reminded me of You guys want to see one of probably the most feral, but also probably the most entertaining I've ever been on stream? Hold on. I think personally, this stream is the most entertaining I've ever been on stream. Maybe not my best stream, certainly right up there. But I mean, just look at this. Look at this. You can kind of already see like what happened during this stream. So, yeah. I'm in love with this woman, and I will not be judged. So, All right, well, that's the tier list. I'm going to take a screenshot for myself here so that I can utilize it in the future. There we go. Or maybe we can cut off that. That's better. Actually, I don't know. I don't really like it without the things on the side. And that is my post 3.1 ZZZ tier list. This is where I have all my favorite characters in the game. Hold on, let me do it over here. You guys don't need to be seeing my file explorer. Well, I think all I showed was my my streaming like files. Okay, well, now that it's complete, let's go ahead and call it here for today. All right, super fun stream. Ended up being almost 3 times longer than what I expected it to be. So I got to go get some food, get some dinner because I'm very hungry. But as always, before we go, let me get everyone's names. So Sandberg, Play 80s, Tarnished Player, and Terminator. Thank you guys so much for coming in and chatting with me throughout the stream. It was an absolute joy. Sandberg and Terminator, your first time through. Appreciate you guys coming in. Hope you guys stick around. By all means, if you want to, but if you don't want to, no worries whatsoever. And Play 80s, I hope to see you again, my friend. And on YouTube, as always, Bella and Guest. We had Superior Miyabi there for a moment as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. At the very beginning, we had Red alongside with Sandberg. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate the follow, Terminator. I probably missed it. I miss most of my follows just because I'm just too focused on what I'm doing. But thank you so much. But yeah, as I mentioned at the start of the stream, unfortunately, no stream for a while for the rest of this week until the weekend. When the weekend comes around, we'll be starting our very first playthrough our very first part of our playthrough of Expedition 33, the first non-gacha content that we'll be doing on the channel since the very start of the channel over 1.5 years ago. So that's very exciting. So hopefully you guys come by for that, but if not, perfectly okay. So that'll be this weekend. As always, we're going to go ahead and call it here for tonight. Hope you guys have a great afternoon, evening, morning, night, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. Take care, guys. As always, I will see you next time. Peace, light.